Yeah,
we heard the guy that passed the clipboard over to our coach.
Well, Missoula knows what he's doing,
That guy
man.
has turned out to be a heck of a coach.
He really has.
I mean, it's almost like the Eric Spoelstra path, right? Spoelstra was a guy that just almost hung around long enough that he got the job, and he's turned out to be a tremendous NBA head coach.
Well, I remember Missoula playing at West Virginia. And Missoula, I mean, the thing about Missoula is I don't know if they get enough credit in that organization, and NBA coaches in general, unless you have a Popovich or a Phil Jackson-like career or a Spoelstra. Yep. But, Missoula is a guy that he's only 36 years old, so he's got a ton of coaching in front of him.
Yeah. A reminder before we give away the tickets, Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken has brought you this hour, champyschicken.com. Go see Sterling and the gang. Enjoy a frosty Bud Light there while you enjoy your great chicken fingers. The Mississippi Delta Mississippi Delta tamales, the great po' boys, sides, desserts, champyschicken.com, champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Before we draw for these tickets, we've only done this during the show today, but I want to tell you how much we appreciate it. They were just giving us the numbers, how much you guys have just donated to Folds of Honor. Whether you win these tickets or not, the amount you've donated to Folds of Honor, I hope you know how much we appreciate that, and Folds of Honor does as well. Anheuser-Busch has supported them for years. It's a charity we support.
Just to put it in perspective, the money before we went on the air that was in has doubled.
Yeah, just in the time they've been in
That's what you guys have done. We appreciate you recognizing what a great cause this is. And, my goal, and I'm sure you're right there with it, until the day I retire, we want to make this at the forefront, and we want to be
Folds of Honor
behind this. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, if you don't know what they do, they make sure the spouses and children of those that have been killed in the line of duty, Purple Heart recipients, disabled veterans, and first responders get college scholarships. So they're taken care of. We as a country do a very poor job taking care of those people. So organizations like Folds of Honor step in, and they couldn't do it without Budweiser and Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch, who have donated almost $30 million over 17 years to them. And Bud Light very near and dear to us, and they are the ones that are presenting the tickets. Our friends from Anheuser-Busch. You got me the names right here. I got it. All right, so here we go. So, oh boy, you gave me a tough name. 2 pairs of tickets. The first pair, and Anheuser-Busch will be in touch with you to get everything organized. You'll be sitting very close to us in the stadium if that matters at all to you.
Yeah, you might not want to, but
who knows?
That's the way it is.
You'll be sitting very close to us there at Rickwood Field.
Are we going to recognize these names, Brown?
One sounds vaguely familiar, but it's a fairly regular name. Stephen Kelly. Stephen Kelly is the name.
I don't know.
Stephen gets the first pair of tickets.
Congratulations, Stephen.
Congratulations, Stephen Kelly. You've got 2 hot tickets there. And then, I'm not going to know how to say this last time. I'm going to give it a whirl here. Rod Cliett, Cliett, is how you say that. Rod Cliett, C-L-I, what?
Oh, sure you got, there's different ways.
Rod doesn't care. He got his tickets,
he's got his 2 tickets.
Butcher my name. Give me my ticket.
That's right. So there you go. Stephen and Rod, I hope you guys are watching and you just realized you won. But if you had to step away, Anheuser-Busch is going to be in touch with you, and you are going to be their guest at the Rickwood Field game, the Rickwood Classic.
My first baseball game of the year.
My second Giants game of the year. I played in a charity softball game at Rickwood. I've never watched a game at Rickwood.
I've actually played in 3 baseball games at Rickwood.
Have you ever watched a game there, though?
Yeah. I saw some Barons games. This is dating me. I also saw UAB play the Cardinals in 1982.
Didn't you see Ty Cobb play?
You were in that movie?
I was actually in that movie, too.
Yeah,
so
he looked a lot like Tommy Lee Jones.
I played a fake baseball game there, too.
Yeah. So there you go. Oh, look, I think Rod's in the chat there. I think.
Okay, good.
All right, good job, Rod. You got him.
I see you, and Bob's got a good question. I'm riding with Brown, so no.
Yes, there you go. Congrats, Rod. And Stephen, we look forward to seeing you guys at Rickwood. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Odd guest list tomorrow. There's no connection. Skip Holtz is going to be in studio with us. Chris Jans, the Mississippi State basketball coach.
We ain't proved Mississippi State in number 16. I guarantee you that.
Basketball. Chris Jans, basketball. And Skip Holtz on the show tomorrow. We'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Have a great afternoon.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store. and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hey, welcome in. Another day of the next round, along with Lance Taylor. I'm Ryan Brown. Dunaway continuing his vacation. He will be back with us next week. Rockstar, though, is here. Lunceford, Tyler, Scott, little T on social media, the entire crew here today. And we welcome you in. And it's going to be a packed show. We have got a lot we have got to get to today, and we are excited about that. Jayson Swain, Alabama native, former Tennessee receiver, now does the Swain event there in Knoxville. He will talk about our 40 and 40 team. Giveaway when we start having guests on about it. It is Tennessee. We'll discuss more about the Vols in just a little bit. He will be with us. Skip Holtz, 3-time championship coach with the Birmingham Stallions, will be in Dunaway's chair.
Was he hungover in bed the other day?
I have no idea. I'll let you ask him.
A celebratory hangover for him?
I'll let you ask him. But he will be with us in studio today. And both of those are coming up in the second hour. In the final hour of the show, Mississippi State basketball coach Chris Jans will join us. Our first chance to talk to Coach Jans. He's never been on the show before.
Yeah, man, looking forward to this.
Yeah,
21 wins, back-to-back seasons for Mississippi State. He is viewed as a defensive mastermind. And you just look at the success he had in Las Cruces with New Mexico State. 5 25-plus win seasons, including that nail-biting loss against Auburn en route to their only Final Four appearance. Guy's a tremendous coach. Problem is the SEC.
It's only getting tougher.
It's only getting tougher. And, realistically, how many teams are the SEC getting? I guess you can get 10 teams.
I guess so. I mean, when you consider, Texas and Oklahoma are generally, right there in the mix for the NCAA tournament. I don't see that going anywhere. So, yeah, you're probably only expanding both in the Big Ten and the SEC how many you actually get in, especially with the Pac-12 going. I mean, the Pac-12's going now. That has, in recent years, only been 2 or 3 bids. But still, those 2 or 3 bids have got to go somewhere.
Yep.
So we'll talk with Coach Jans about that. So we got a fun show coming up today. We will get to you at 205-834. No, wait a minute, that's wrong. 205-734-0923. I don't know whose number I was about to give. I was about to give somebody's number. 205-734-0923. I can't tell you how many times. Like, I send out a tweet every day on this show. That's just a link to the Twitter feed. So if you want to go watch it on Twitter, and I put who our guests are going to be, and I put the phone number, and I can't tell you how many times I've actually typed my cell number in there and have to go back and delete it and put the hotline number in. I don't know why I do that, but I type my cell number in.
Have you ever not caught it? Have you ever not caught it?
No, I've caught it every time. What'd you say, Rockstar?
It only takes one time.
It really does. I've caught it every time. I don't think I've ever tweeted out my cell number. Not that it matters. I mean, if I don't have your number saved, I'm not answering the call.
Mine's on my business card. Everybody's like, man, you make a mistake doing that. It's difficult, though, being in sales and not doing it.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah, it's. I still get texts from random people that I just don't know who it is.
Yeah. So that's what's coming up on the show today. Obviously, there is only one way you start this show today, especially in this city, and at this time, which is just remarkable timing. Unfortunately, the death of what I think is the greatest baseball player in the game's history, Willie Mays, best all-around player in history, in my opinion. Passed away, as his family said, peacefully last night at the age of 93 in the Bay Area. And, there's so much about this, Lance. I just can't get past the timing.
Oh, man, the timing is amazing.
So sad.
We talked about this yesterday, and, and I said this. I was like, I think there's a lot of people out there that would be surprised that Willie Mays is still alive.
I know. That's what is insane, that we were just discussing it. Yeah, he has been out of the public eye for quite a while now.
Look, and there's a reason he wasn't going to be in Birmingham for this game. Obviously, the health was declining, but that's a great run, 93 years old.
Yeah.
And, watching a lot of former Major League players speak out over the last 24 hours and talk about what an influence he was. And, you hear guys like Ken Griffey Jr. So you think about the full life that Willie Mays was able to lead and the respect he gets. And look, and I understand you and Jim always say that he's the best ever, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't know. Like, I never saw the guy play. I heard this guy, he was like, I'm in my late 40s this morning, and he was hosting some show. I was flipping around Sirius XM. And he was like, I got to cover all angles of Willie Mays' career.
Like, in his late 40s?
Except watching him.
Except actually watching him play the game.
But I mean, I think the most people that are, baseball purists, if you asked, I think 60, 70% probably would say Willie Mays is the greatest to ever play.
I texted my dad last night after he passed, and I asked him, I was like, I've always said Willie Mays is the best player in baseball history. I know you did not see Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig and guys like that in their prime. I was like, but is Willie Mays the best? He goes, when I was growing up, there were a lot of great players, but Willie Mays was definitely the best of them, in my opinion. That's what my dad said. Just respected, and like, not that my dad's a baseball expert. We'll talk to Buster Olney about it tomorrow. But just to see the way he played in the field, and the guy hit 660 home runs on top of that, and was playing in a pitcher's park.
Oh,
Old Candlestick was not a hitter's park.
But segregation, I think, did a lot for guys like Willie Mays and Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
I mean, because those guys dominated day one.
Yeah. And, absolutely. Yeah. And when Willie Mays, when he was batting in San Francisco, I think the dimensions, if I'm not mistaken, were even deeper than what they eventually became for like the Will Clark era and Matt Williams era. That was not a hitter's park, and he hit 660 home runs, and he missed 2 years for the Korean War, which, you could easily say he would be over 700 if not.
Yeah, that's. I heard Buster talking about it this morning, that he thinks he definitely would have busted Babe Ruth's record a year or two before Hank Aaron would have.
Yeah, now Aaron probably comes back and passes him.
Yeah, and then ultimately Barry Bonds, who is the best player I've ever seen.
Right, I got no problem with that.
Yeah, and I think the best player ever to play the game would have been Ken Griffey Jr. if he wouldn't have gotten hurt.
I think Ken Griffey Jr., in my opinion, is the closest to Willie Mays that we saw. Just his all-around game, because
there was no weakness. I mean, you had range, you had a great arm,
power, hit for average.
Yeah, I mean, he was a true five-tool guy.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I just, the only thing I've always said about Willie Mays is he was as good, if not better, a defensive player as he was an offensive player, and he hit 660 home runs.
Yeah,
so what does that tell you?
12 Gold Gloves.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Don't you think so?
Yeah. And I heard
he's the only. Is it the only center fielder or the only outfielder in the history of the game to win 12 Gold Gloves? I mean, that's just outrageous.
Yeah, maybe both.
Yeah.
I heard Buster another story. He was talking about Spike Lee. He saw him recently in New York, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, Spike said, what do you think about Willie Mays being the logo of Major League Baseball? And they were talking about, I think it was the 1954 World Series. Was that with the basket catch?
Yeah, I mean, just that image of him, the over-the-shoulder, you could do that and everybody, I think, would recognize it.
Yeah, and Buster was like, much like everybody recognizes Jerry West, which I don't think everybody does. I think, the generation.
We knew it growing up.
Yeah, 40 plus, and now that the logo, which is weird timing too, passed away last week or 2 weeks ago. I think that brings a little more attention, and some of the younger generations now know that Jerry West was the logo. But I think if you did, people talking about that, I mean, that's one of the coolest plays in Major League Baseball history.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's an iconic play. Anytime you see it, you know exactly who you're watching. You know the situation. You know it's called the catch, the basket catch or whatever. Just a remarkable player, and
those basket catches way too close to the jump.
It really is. We were just watching a video on MLB Network where he's catching it down around his waist. But Scott is showing you the image of the basket catch right there, the over-the-shoulder catch.
And another thing they've talked about universally, Jackie Robinson's number is retired. They're talking about 24 being retired, which I think will be kind of the sign of respect, and I think it'll be a tribute, and I think that's ultimately probably going to be announced this year. I'm just guessing.
They call him a Giant for life. He did finish his career with the Mets, and his number is retired in both places. We actually discussed that the other day, how the Mets scrambled to get that done, knowing that Willie Mays' time was limited with us, right? And they scrambled to get that done, so his number is retired in both places. But it would not shock me if his number were not retired in every single Major League stadium. That was the respect, and you saw that last night. Like, on social media, the videos started leaking out of all the different game telecast when the news broke. And the first one I saw was the legendary John Miller that used to do the ESPN games.
Is he still the voice of the Giants?
Still does Giants TV on NBC Bay Area or whatever it's called. And just him talking about it, and that voice of John Miller talking about Willie Mays. And I saw Michael Kay during the Yankees game talking about it. The Cubs game, San Francisco was in Chicago, and between innings, stopped the game for a moment of silence. I mean, that doesn't show you how iconic of a player Willie Mays was, that an actual game in 2024, they stopped the game for a moment of silence just on the news of his passing.
Yeah.
They didn't wait till the next game and say, let's start it with a moment of silence.
What was the official time?
I don't know.
Because I know we had a text thread going last night.
Yeah, we did. The Giants released it sometime around like 6:30, I think it was. Yeah.
I was at Walk-Ons, and I was talking to our friends Matt and Ken up there. And I was watching was it the Biscuits and the Barons last night? I know they're doing another one tonight.
It was,
but it was all Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I think it was the Biscuits. Yeah.
Anyway, I was watching that game, and I'm just wondering. I don't think the news was announced at that point.
Right.
But I would assume if the news goes through Birmingham, then it's a moment of silence there as well.
Well, I tell you what.
I'm sure we're going to get one Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely, Thursday. But I'll show you what happened. First, Longest Furniture. They are one of our fine sponsors here, and I want to tell you about them, or Lance tell you about them, and then we'll show you how that was handled at Rickwood Field.
Yeah, I reached out to Reggie, one of the owners of Longest Furniture, along with Jon Lunceford, yesterday about a couple of pieces that we're looking at right now. Our friends at Longest Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Longest offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, entertainment, and a slew of mattresses. Longest can also help you with your home design and decorating. They've got that 3-week event going on right now, store-wide savings, hot buys, transforming your home into a beautiful escape with new furniture and decor pieces, from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Longest has everything you need to create your sunshine sanctuary. Bring the sun inside with Longest Furniture. You can save up to 10% store-wide right now. They also have special financing throughout the store. From Birmingham, take that exit 280 off of I-65. It's the Hallmark Farms exit. Go south on U.S. Highway 31, 1.3 miles. Longest is going to be right there on your right. Make sure you tell them Next Round sent you. 205-647-4311. And also, don't forget, $300 in Longest sleep credits with select mattress purchases right now from our friends at Longest Furniture.
What would you describe Lance Taylor at age 17? What were you doing?
Oh, I was mischievous.
Yeah.
I don't want to go debaucherous at that age.
But I mean,
mischievous, making bad decisions, very immature.
Yeah. Willie Mays was playing for the Birmingham Black Barons.
I think he actually was playing at 16, was he not?
Yeah, I mean,
or actually signed his contract
at
at
16, played at 17, which back in the Negro League days, the Birmingham Black Barons, I mean, that was basically a major league level team for, the Negro Leagues, right? So, I mean, imagine that at age 17, you're playing Major League Baseball or so. I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, I know what I was doing at 17. I was not mature enough to do that, nor was I good
Andrew
enough,
Jones, when he hit a home run for the Braves, at 19 in the World Series?
in the World Series.
And we were like, my gosh.
Nuts over it, yeah. Willie Mays was tearing it up for the Birmingham Black Barons in the stadium where we will be Thursday night, and his Giants and the Cardinals will play Thursday night. But last night, the Birmingham Barons were playing a minor league game there, and it was being televised. At the time, this is video courtesy of Major League Baseball. Rockstar is about to play. Lance asked how, what it sounded like when it was addressed. This was the reaction of the crowd, courtesy of Major League Baseball, last night in Rickwood Field.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some very sad news to share. A short time ago, the San Francisco Giants, Major League Baseball, and the Willie Mays family announced that the Say Hey kid, Willie Mays, one of the greatest players in the history of our game, has passed away at the age of 93. He was born here in Alabama, got his start in this very ballpark, thrilled generations of baseball fans with his brilliant play, and we will always cherish the memory and life of the great Willie Mays.
A really cool reaction, obviously, and I mean, I'll credit the Barons because you don't really know how to handle something like that, right? I mean, one of the greatest baseball players of all time has passed away, and he's got the local tie. You're in Rickwood Field. I mean, it's remarkable. But for them just to say it, they didn't ask for a moment of silence. I don't know if they knew what the crowd was going to do, and I think the crowd reacted the only way you could actually react to that.
Yeah, and I wonder how many people in the crowd knew before.
Yeah,
like
I
think you would have probably gotten a bigger reaction if it wasn't for social media.
Yeah, and then I saw on social media the Cubs. I mentioned that they asked for a moment of silence, and the Wrigley Field crowd, not being disrespectful, obviously, but paying the respects the way they felt they should to Willie Mays, did the same thing, a standing ovation in Wrigley Field. And I mean, I think that's a fitting tribute to Willie Mays. That's what he did.
I mean, there's in Willie Mays, you can argue all day long, best of all time. But I think there's 10, 15 guys that Major League Baseball might shut it down for, remember?
That's another thing I heard Buster say. I think it was Buster that said...
Boy, he's making the rounds today.
Yes, he'll be with us tomorrow. But it was Buster, Tim Kirchner, one of those old baseball guys that have been around it for a long time. Apologies to Buster for calling him old. Said, hey, here's how I will put Willie Mays into perspective. If the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame was limited to 10 players, Willie Mays will be in it. I mean, I think that's a fair way of saying it.
Yeah.
I don't think, and it's a no-doubter, obviously. I mean, if you've got 10 guys in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, it's a no-doubter Willie Mays is in there. I mentioned texting with my dad last night just to get his perspective on it, having seen Willie Mays play. And he said the same thing I think a lot of people are saying. I know you and I feel that way. Willie was not going to be there Thursday night, but just how sad it is that he didn't get to see it.
I know.
That was going to be such an honor to him, and it still will be, but the fact that he couldn't live 48 hours longer just to see that night happen in his hometown.
Yeah, but the Negro League records being transferred to Major League Baseball, at least he got to live to see that.
That's right, absolutely, which obviously, he was a huge part of. But that was the thing. Look, he was going to be honored Thursday night, still will be. He was not going to be able to be in attendance. I'm just very sad for him and his family that he didn't get to live long enough to see it. As Michael says in the mybookie.ag chat room, the game Thursday was already going to be a tribute to Willie Mays. I can only imagine how amped up it will be now. I mean, if you're Fox, Fox is probably in scramble mode right now.
Oh, yeah.
They've had to.
Well, you say that. I wonder how many.
They had a lot of stuff ready.
The prepackage. I mean, I'm looking at Major League Baseball right now, and it looks like they had a prepackage already for Willie Mays. Like, I don't know, in depth, I mean, obviously he was not in the best shape. I mean, he passes away, but you just wonder if that had a lot to do why he wasn't going to be in Birmingham on Thursday.
But when I first saw the story that he wasn't going to be in Birmingham, it was from an interview he did with the San Francisco Chronicle, the newspaper. And when I saw that, I actually thought, and it's unfortunate I had this thought, but that was only, I think, Monday I saw that, or Sunday or Monday. I actually thought, well, I'm glad to know he's at least in good enough health he could do an interview with the San Francisco Chronicle.
Right.
I think it was Sunday I saw that. And so I knew he wasn't going to be there, but I was like, at least he's, well enough to speak with him. And then, 48 hours later, he's passed away. So,
yeah, the timing is remarkable.
It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. We got a lot more we'll discuss on that, a lot more to get to on the show today. Rockstar, let's do cut two. This is, as I mentioned, so the Giants are in Chicago. They're playing at Wrigley against the Cubs, and the story broke during the game. It was, I think, between the 6th and 7th inning, or maybe in the middle of the 6th, was when the Cubs stopped the game at Wrigley in between innings there and did the moment of silence that ended up being a moment of ovation. And then after the game, the Giants players and manager Bob Melvin were obviously asked about it. This is Bob Melvin and Logan Webb talking both about the passing of Willie Mays and now what will become a tribute to his memory Thursday night at Rickwood Field.
What was your memories of him?
I have so many. We'd be here for a long time. Just as a kid, being able to watch him play. I grew up watching games at Candlestick Park and loved baseball, because of Willie Mays. So it meant that much.
Given that Rickwood's on Thursday, a chance to celebrate him, just how incredible do you think that will be?
It will. I mean, would have loved for him to be able to watch that game and watch the Giants take the field where he played. But yeah, I think it probably even if possible, adds more to going there.
You know, it's really sucks that it happened. 2 days before we're playing at Rickwood Field, and but we're gonna play in his honor. So Willie is kind of the giant, right? Like, he is the guy. So we're gonna play for him.
That's Logan Webb, and then before him, Bob Melvin, the manager of the Giants. I saw a video you would appreciate. I'll see if I can find it and send it to you. The audio is not spectacular, so we're not going to play it on the show. But it's video from inside the Dodgers TV booth when Vince Scully and Willie Mays met for the first time ever, and it was from 2017.
How's that even possible?
I'm surprised they had never met before. That's what the tweet said.
Yeah, because trust me, there was a lot of crossover when it came to Vin in the booth and Willie playing.
So Willie Mays comes in, and Vince Scully walks over and introduces himself, and Willie Mays says, "I know who you are." And they laugh about it, and you would love this line. Vince Scully said, "You always had on the wrong color uniform, but I still consider you the best player ever to play the game." Which, that's no surprise from Vin, as classy as they come. But
and then the rivalry between the Giants and the Dodgers, and it still goes on.
Did you like Candlestick Park?
I like watching games. Like I
never went to a game there, right?
I never went to a game there. I was supposed to go to a Rams game there forever ago. I love sitting and watching like Trash Circle.
It was so weird, wasn't it?
And then everybody in there, down jackets. It's 11:30 at night here, but it's 9:30 there in July, and people are bundled up. It looked miserable.
It really did.
I can't imagine being a season ticket holder, but watching on TV wasn't bad. Now, it was kind of like a U.S. Open. You'd get a routine pop fly, and
who knows what's going to happen?
Dirt getting somebody's eye, balls flying around.
Yeah, I just remember you would be watching a late night, Braves on TBS.
There weren't a lot of people there, by the way.
No, late night Braves on TBS in San Francisco, and it had been like 98 and 100% humidity here in Anniston, Alabama, and I'm watching them, and they're all bundled. The pitcher gets a base hit, and they run the jacket out to him. I'm like, so weird that in the middle of the summer they were having to wear jackets there. And like you said, it was not a hitter's park, and that's where the guy hit a lot of his 660 home runs. So a lot of you got comments on Willie Mays. We'll talk some more about Willie Mays. In fact, I did a task last night, just on spur of the moment, because I said this is, in my opinion, the greatest professional baseball player of all time, and I think the greatest athlete from the state of Alabama all time. So then I started thinking, well, who would my top 5 be? So I did that, and then this morning, Lance did that.
Yeah, well, here's what I'm going to do, because I think I've got an idea where your top 5.
Okay.
I'm going to do the next top 5.
Oh, so you're going to do the second 5?
Yeah. Now, we could have some crossover. I don't think we will, though.
Okay. So you're going to take what you think is my top 5, and you're going to do the second 5.
Yeah.
I'll go and tell you, it's a heck of a top 10 from a state our size.
It is.
The top 10's pretty incredible.
Like we could probably go like a list of 20, and I think people would be blown away with the population of this state and how many incredible iconic guys.
Yeah, when you consider 5 million people live in the state of Alabama, and some of the names we are about to mention is pretty incredible.
Lunceford, don't give it away yet.
What's Lunceford doing? He's doing his second 5? Oh. What Rams have we had here?
We haven't had a lot. We have not had a lot.
So we'll do that. We'll do that coming up on the show, as well as we talk a lot about Willie Mays today, as you might imagine. As we go to break, Dr. B, helping you grow your hair back, Lance. Get that full mane blowing in the wind.
I've already done my 3 treatments this week.
Look at you working ahead.
Yeah. Have you done yours?
Not in all 3, no.
Okay. Well, I think it's so simple because
it is.
It's 30 minutes each time, only 3 times a week. My hair is more than doubled in thickness from the first time I went to see Dr. Beckenstein. There it is right there. Dr. B talking, giving that consultation. You can schedule one right now. I highly recommend this if you're starting to thin out a little bit. 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316. Dr. B for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to him for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training in genetic testing, to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B and that great staff today. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
So we'll discuss that when we come back. Also, the 5 easiest schedules in college football, according to ESPN's FPI. We talk often about the hardest schedule. These are contenders with the easiest schedules. That and much more coming up on the next round.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
We continue on the next round. I was on the phone with a friend of mine yesterday. He's like, man, are you watching this College World Series baseball? And I was like, I got to confess, I've been really busy. I got to see that Tennessee-North Carolina Classic game.
Well, we get it.
Tennessee-Florida State, excuse me.
We get it again today.
And he was like, man, he said, this has been an incredible tournament. And I was just looking because Tennessee and Florida State, as you mentioned, they will play today. And I think that's 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock today on ESPN. And Texas A&M over on the other side, they will play tonight. Man, he was like, he said, I've just gotten sucked in, and I started looking at the scores.
Oh.
I mean,
how many one-run games?
So you've had a 3-2 game. You've had a 12-11 game. You've had a 5-4 game, a 3-2 game, a 5-4 game. Then you've had, Tennessee won 6-1 over North Carolina. Florida State beat North Carolina 9-5. A&M beat Kentucky 5-1. But, boy, you've had a lot of one-run games in this thing. And even like the 9-5, I mean, they've been exciting games.
Yeah, that's why, we talk about one-possession games in the NFL. You see it all the time.
All the time.
You see so many one-run games in Major League Baseball, and it's why we typically play money line. We don't play run line at Lance's Lock.
Speaking of which, it's going to be heavy Major League Baseball moving forward, but Hemp Hill Services brings you the lock every day, lanceslock.com.
Scotty, do you know who's on the hill today for your White Sox?
I can't say that I do.
Yeah.
Who do you want on the hill for your White Sox?
That'd be Crochet.
Yeah, Crochet is getting back today as your free
Okay, they
play
got a shot.
against the Astros. Hey, you guys are looking to win a series for the first time in season in over a month.
Oh, that much I do know.
Yeah, Crochet, though, that lefty, I mean, I don't know how long. I guess next contract, he'll go to the Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers. One of those probably. Anyway, that is your free play tonight. We are backing the White Sox plus, I think, 110 right now against Houston. Get a free play every day, lanceslock.com. But if you have AC problems, how about this? The person that called me yesterday and said AC 26 years, that it's finally out, right?
Yeah.
Hempill goes out there. Guess what?
What? Not out?
They could have said it was out, but they didn't. They were like, you know what? You don't need a entirely new unit. You just need a capacitor. Is that right?
Flux capacitor.
Flux capacitor.
Yeah, they're going to be traveling into the future if they get that AC kicking.
Yeah, capacitor is all she needed. So thousands and thousands of dollars saved right there. Look, integrity, trust. That's the name since 1954. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
We often get asked this a lot about our favorite teams. Lamb Believer's asking how you became a White Sox fan. Was it through the Barons? Was it just because of the Barons?
Yeah, it started out that way. I remember a birthday party. I want to say I was about probably, I couldn't have been 10 or so.
Yeah.
But I remember Frank Thomas hitting what felt like at that time like an 800-foot homer, over the Met scoreboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
And Frank already being an Auburn guy.
Yeah. Fan for life there, huh?
I love it, though, Forster, because, that's one of those, once you jump on board and then you get to go to the Barons and you see future stars go through the system. So I think that's actually the best way to do it. The only thing that would suck there is if your minor league team gets ripped out from under you, which has happened before, obviously not with the Birmingham Barons. That is a good way to select a team. Now, I know
I've tried to quit them before because they haven't always been, very good to me.
Yeah.
They don't deserve my loyalty, but they've got it.
Look, I feel you, man. I went over a decade with the Rams without going to the postseason, a decade of losing seasons. But how fulfilling Scotty Posednik in, was it 2003, 2004, 2005? What was he?
5.
Yeah. I mean, just getting that one has got to make it all worthwhile.
Thank God I got to see that one because I'll probably never see it again.
Yeah, and Lunceford says it's okay to quit a team. Scott, it's not.
Lunceford doesn't.
No, you can't quit a team.
I think Lunceford's already quit on the 49ers.
Is he done with the 49ers
I
already?
wasn't ever really a 49er.
Well, we know that. That goes without saying.
You said because y'all go there all the time and you love the stadium.
Yeah.
I do love the stadium.
The divorce rate is still around 50%. I think it went down with COVID because people can't afford to get divorces, whatever. But, so let's say it's 40%. People quitting their teams has got to be single digits, like 1-2% possibly.
Yeah, see, I'm so far in as a Dolphins fan right now, it would be dumb for me to quit. I've invested all this time in crappy teams. I mean, what's quitting going to do?
You can't do it.
I should have quit a long time ago if I was going to quit. I'm all in now. I mean, I got to ride this thing out till I'm in a casket, and hopefully I see a Super Bowl win before then. Because that's the thing that will happen.
I still think you'll get one. Now, what's going to suck for you is if Rockstar gets one before.
I know.
If you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Detroit Lions getting Super Bowl championships before the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Like we were in San Antonio, one of the stops we made on our vacation last week, and we were doing the boat ride on the Riverwalk there, which I highly recommend, by the way. First of all, I highly recommend San Antonio.
San Antonio is awesome.
It's an incredible
That's one of my favorite
city.
cities we went to last year.
And then I highly recommend you do what we did. Stay on the Riverwalk. Actually stay on the Riverwalk soon. Just walk right out of your hotel onto the Riverwalk.
Would you have drank that water out of the river?
Probably no. It's an actual river. It's not man-made, I found out. And I would recommend while you're there, do the boat tour. It's only like 30 minutes. It's pleasant. You learn a lot of history about San Antonio. That's one thing about San Antonio. They don't tear buildings down.
I think anytime you can do a boat tour in a major town.
I agree. The one in Chicago is great, isn't it? The architecture tour.
I still do it every time I go.
Yeah, but they don't tear buildings down in San Antonio. Like if it's a historic building, they just build around it. That's what you have to do. You cannot tear buildings down. So it's just tons of historic buildings. There's stories behind them all. But anyway, all that to be said, my boat driver was a Cowboys fan, and he was making a joke about, these buildings are as old as the Cowboys' last world championship. We hadn't won one in 25 years. or however long it's been. How many years he said?
It's coming up on 30.
Yeah, and my family looked at me like, "You want to tell him?"
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, they have one of my Dolphins have one of my lifetime. I'm still waiting. Like, I remember Dan Marino going to the Super Bowl, and I'm like, "Well, we'll be back there all the time." I'm still waiting for the next trip.
We were talking about the most difficult trophies in all of sports. When we were talking, Major League Baseball and Lord Stanley's Cup. But when you start to look around the NFL at some of the great organizations like San Francisco, who has not won since 94.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, 96. Your Dolphins,
72.
72. I mean, those are great organizations. And when you go that long, you guys have been over 50 years.
I know. Not in my lifetime. I mean, they've only been to one Super Bowl in my lifetime. Haven't been to an AFC Championship game since 1992.
Yeah, and to put that in perspective, I'm almost positive the one thing I remember about that 49ers Dolphins, three things.
All right.
I was pulling for your Dolphins.
Okay.
Loved Dan Marino back then.
Yeah, I did too.
I got a Domino's pizza that day.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
I remember it was really cold in the Birmingham area.
Uh-huh.
And then I remember it was the premiere of the A-Team.
Do you remember the stadium they were playing in?
Oh...
This might blow your mind, actually, because this is back in the era where they didn't just play the Super Bowl in an actual NFL stadium.
Yeah, was it in the LA Coliseum?
It was in Stanford Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
In Stanford, California. This is before the redo of Stanford Stadium. It looked a lot like the Rose Bowl. It was just smaller.
Yeah, because the Rams played their first in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. And I have since visited when we were out for Alabama-Clemson. I went on the campus at Stanford, and that is a super underwhelming stadium and campus.
You've told me. Do you remember the A-Team coming on that night?
Vaguely, like I remember.
I think that's right. I'm checking it right now.
No, I think you're right about that. Wonder Years followed one of the Super Bowls, and it was a really big deal. But I think it was A-Team that followed that one.
I'm going to be wrong.
Was it Wonder Years?
I don't think it was Wonder Years. So it says the A-Team, their first episode was January 23rd of 1983. So it was definitely Super Bowl. But that would have been 2 years before yours, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that was the other San Francisco and Cincinnati Super Bowl.
Could have been.
I think I got it confused.
Yeah. I've got it right here. It was the 85 Super Bowl, 84 season, though, and the 49ers won 38-16. I think I can tell you the show that came on after. The game was on ABC, but I can't tell you the...
Can you give me January 23rd, 1983? Was that not Cincinnati and San Francisco? I'm just talking about if you're going Super Bowl.
Oh, you're talking about the year before, the Super Bowl the year before?
Or 2 years before.
The year before was your Rams and Redskins in Tampa.
No.
Yeah, it was. The
Raiders and the Redskins. Trust me, I didn't miss the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's right. It was the Raiders. I just saw LAR.
But the year before that should have been Bengals and 49ers.
No, it was the Redskins Dolphins in the strike shortened season.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got one of the teams right.
Yes, you did. Bengals and 49ers was in 82 up in the Silverdome. I remember that one.
Then again in 88.
Yep. Yeah, the 88 game was both games were really good. 26-21 in the 82 game. But the 88 one's the legendary one. The Hey There's John Candy
Boy,
game.
I was pulling hard for the Bengals.
Were you really? You didn't like...
I was pulling hard for the Bengals both. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, 49ers are a big rival for the Rams.
As a kid, though, I loved Chris Collinsworth. And I thought Ken Anderson was a really good quarterback.
You like Collinsworth now as an announcer?
He's okay. I mean, that voice is tough.
It is. It is a little bit scratchy. We've got a lot to get to on the show today, and it's packed a little bit later with guests. Let's go ahead and do our 40 and 40 team today. We'll unveil it, and we're going to come back to it. Jayson Swain's going to join us at the top of the hour to talk some more about Tennessee. MyBookie.ag is bringing you the 40 and 40 code next round when you sign up at MyBookie.ag, and you get that great sign-on bonus, loyalty bonus, VIP rewards, all of that right there in MyBookie.ag. 90, I think it was 3 voters voted. People that are in the college football world, covering the game of college football. A lot of you that are in our audience that applied to vote, and we selected some of you. And this is where you have the Tennessee Volunteers ranked number 16 for the Big Orange.
I think it's fascinating for Tennessee this year because I brought this up yesterday, and I don't know if you agree. It seems like Tennessee's building a lot of steam.
I would agree, yeah.
It seems like a lot of people out there, hey, this is going to be a 9-10 win team. And you look at Josh Heupel in the first couple of years, I mean, that offense with Hendon Hooker was lights out. And it's one of the more baffling things. And some people are going to know South Carolina knew all the plays coming.
Yeah.
But for South Carolina to win that game going away and Spencer Rattler to play like a number 1 overall pick was pretty amazing. But then you go 9-4 last year, and I didn't have a huge expectation for Joe Melton. The only thing we heard is he could throw the football 80 yards.
And he could.
Yeah, he could.
But it seemed like he tried to do it every single pass, no matter how long the pass called for.
But in limited time, when we saw Nico
Yeah.
Really, really good.
One full game against Iowa.
But you get, and that was a great Iowa defense, and
Yeah.
you don't know motivation and stuff.
Who
It's
knows?
bowl game.
Yeah, it's bowl
Brew
game.
McCoy comes back, Squirrel White comes back. Guys that got to get more productive. One of the best edge rushers in football coming back after his freshman year, 14 and a half tackles for loss, 10 sacks for James Pierce. This is a team that was first in tackles for loss in the SEC. They were second in sacks. They get after the quarterback. If Nico plays more like Hendon Hooker and less like Joe Milton, I think this team's got a good shot at the college football playoff appearance.
College football playoff appearance in year 3 for Josh
Year 3,
Heupel.
which would be massive.
Yeah.
But don't you kind of feel that crossroads? Is he a B coach? Is he an A coach? Tennessee fans want to say he's A.
I know, and they go back a couple of years to the year you referenced where they beat Alabama, they lose to Georgia, they lose to South Carolina, and I think they felt like that was an A year. I think they understand the Hendon Hooker injury, and you got the win over Alabama, but then it was a little bit disappointing in the follow-up season. That was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, look, and I mean, again, they were still quality 4-4 in the SEC and 9-4 overall. I know we're about to go to a clip here with Heupel. Heupel would have been good in the conversation yesterday. Athletes, once they're done, gaining a few LBs, and it looks like he's getting. Is this a cross between Meghan Markle and Kay Adams?
Okay, I'll give him that, Rockstar. Do you like that? This is the Everything Orange podcast. She is not orange. I see more Kay Adams than I do Meghan Markle. I think it's the hair on Meghan Markle.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's. I was going to say a poor man's Kay Adams. I didn't want to say that, but now you've made me.
I'm glad you didn't say it.
And Heupel's Bobby from King of the Hill.
I've never seen King of the Hill. I'll believe you, though. Is that the little kid?
The little kid.
Let's hear what he has to say about chasing championships.
He always, I will say this, though, real quick. I remember getting up on Saturday or Sunday mornings in college and, going through a drive-through, and that's the way Heupel looks.
That's the way you felt? You looked?
Well, I mean, I just felt like, I'm just going to throw on a hoodie, and I'm going to run through the drive-thru
and shave?
and then I'm going to shower.
This is from Tennessee's Everything Orange podcast. Here's the Tennessee coach chasing championships in Knoxville.
What are you looking forward to with all these new changes with the SEC conference and the playoff expansion of getting an opportunity to make a run at championships next season?
At the end of the day, you're chasing to be the best football team every single Saturday. And as you go through that journey, you do that every Saturday. You put yourself in position to, go compete for an SEC championship, go compete for a national championship in the college football playoff. There's so many areas that we got to grow between now and then that you're focused on the daily task. But I am excited about, who we are and what we have inside of this building, the opportunity that we have to continue to grow. I'll be really excited when we get to next fall and start kicking off the football too. But excited about, who we are inside of this building and Tennessee's a program that will have an opportunity to compete for those spots every year.
Look, this is the baseline, and I think this is for a few SEC programs out there. But if they don't get to a college football playoff this year, I think Tennessee fans are disappointed. And that might be a lot to ask when you're talking about a first-year starter, a true sophomore, and Nico.
Well, let's talk about.
Is it I'm a Lieba?
Yeah, that's what I've always gone with. Let's see if Jayson Swain knows the top of the hour.
I've heard it pronounced like seven different ways right now.
Let's talk about their schedule real quick. They open with Chattanooga. That's a Saturday game. That's an easy win on the SEC network. But then that game in Charlotte against NC State.
It's a tough game.
The Pack's got something for them there, you think, huh? 6:30 kick on ABC.
Look, NC State typically really good up front defensively. You've got a quarterback that's probably got more experience than any quarterback coming back. Outside of what you get right now with the kid in Oregon, Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
But Grace McCall, is a kid that is, 4-year starter for Coastal Carolina. Now he comes in, takes the reins. I think that'll be a difficult game, but a game that Tennessee will be favored in and should win.
And then after a home game against Kent State, you go to Norman. I mean, it's an interesting September for them.
That is one of 3 games they're going to be underdogs in.
Okay, so at Oklahoma, at Georgia, and the other one would be against Alabama at home?
I think Alabama right now would be a 1-2-3 point favorite. The thing about this schedule is if they win the games they're going to be favored in, which I believe they're going to be favored 9, and then they get one of those other games, whether it's Oklahoma, Alabama, or Georgia, that's a massive 10-win season, which I think gets them in.
Yeah, I would say so. Again, we talked about the scenario the other day where you got a ton of 10-2 teams. This was one of them we discussed. You just never really know, but I think the way you played it right there would be hard to leave them out if that's one of their wins.
Yeah, I mean, I think NC State is going to be ranked this year.
Mm-hmm.
let's give them Oklahoma. Oklahoma's definitely going to be ranked. Alabama would be a loss. Kentucky, I don't know, though. You start to look at this. I mean, how many teams? NC State, they might not end up being a ranked team.
Yeah, I know. At the end of the year,
or
you
maybe
don't know.
just one, Oklahoma, Alabama, or Georgia. One of those they would have to win. If they go 9-3 and lose those 3 games, they're out.
You're right. At 9-3, I don't like their odds there. That's the Tennessee Volunteers coming in at number 16, the way you voted, in our mybookie.ag 40-40. Code next round for mybookie.ag. We'll talk a little bit more about Tennessee with Jayson Swain coming up at the top of the hour. Also, Skip Holtz going to be in studio with us, the Birmingham Stallions coach, and a little bit later on, Chris Jans, head basketball coach at Mississippi State. Hey, when it came time to redo the master bath in the Brown home and the Taylor home, and now the kitchen in the Taylor home, we depended on our guy Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. It's well underway there.
And let me tell you this, and I talked to Brad last night, and I was like, I know I said this last year when you guys did the bathroom, but he had 2 Sprinter vans came in. He had 4 guys at one time working. They got there 8 yesterday. They worked till 5:30 and almost knocked everything out.
It's incredible. They are on time, which is saying something this day and age. They work hard. They're courteous. They're clean. At the end of every day, they would walk us through everything they accomplished that day, and you knew right where you stood. If you want to use Brad, we highly recommend him. He specializes in master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets, but he can do anything in your home. 205-422-1758, anywhere in Alabama. Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling, 205-422-1758. Willie Mays, I think he's the best athlete from Alabama. What say you? That's next.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for The Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or michelson.laservision.com.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
about to discuss more about Willie Mays. It caused me to think last night because I said after he passed, I think he's the greatest baseball player of all time all around and the best athlete born in Alabama. So then I was like, man, that's a tough thing for me to say. Let me just kind of pencil it out and see if I've missed anybody. So I ended up doing a top 5. I'm going to show you my top 5. Lance has not seen it. He's going to project his second 5 based on what he thinks my top 5 will be.
Yeah,
so
look, and there might be some duplication. There's definitely going to be some omissions. People would be like, why didn't you give this guy this guy?
There's no doubt you're going to hear that. Trust me. But first, Hydro Life Therapy bringing you part of the show.
Got to stay hydrated. I think the temperature is going up every day starting today. I think tomorrow's like 92, 93, 94, 95. I think that's kind of the sequence we're going to get, at least where we originate from here in Birmingham. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, it's all under one roof. You can boost your immune system with HydroLife Therapy. IV therapy treatments are packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, boost that immune system, and much more. Ask about the memberships. You receive great rewards with the memberships. Basically, recoup that IV membership in just one visit with that free IV bag every single month. HydroLife Therapy open daily, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. 2 locations in Birmingham, Homewood, Greystone, Highway 119, also Tuscaloosa. When you're in one of those great locations, make sure you tell them the next round sent you 20% off any of these incredible services. For more information, hydrolifetherapy.com.
By the way, for the game Thursday night, 93 is the high Thursday, 0 chance of rain, so that's the good news. It's going to be hot, but it's not going to rain.
Yep.
So they did have they had Friday blocked off for the makeup. I mean, it's not like you can just fly back to Birmingham and play this game, so I guess the Giants and the Cardinals don't have a game anywhere Friday?
I guess not.
I guess it's an off day. Instead of a Thursday off day,
I wonder if
they get a
they're
Friday
already
off day?
planning on staying in Birmingham Thursday night.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I will say this, baseball players run harder than any other sport.
So if they stay in Birmingham, we're going to know it? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, they will be out majority of the night.
Yeah.
They'll like Birmingham with the late bar cutoffs. I haven't seen one of those in a long time, believe it or not.
The last call is a little bit later in Birmingham.
We've got some of those clubs.
Yeah.
You know, you sign a little club membership and you can stay up till 8, 9 o'clock when people are walking out.
Yeah. They do not play Friday. They're back in St. Louis on Saturday. They're at Busch Stadium, so they've got that Friday off day. So they'll either stay here. I saw our guy Gary Owen. I saw this on TikTok. Rockstar was doing a TikTok. He got his flight got delayed in Birmingham, and when he was here the other night, and he was supposed to leave. The flight was supposed to leave at like 9:25. It left at 6 p.m. But he was like, at noon, they told us it was going to be 6 p.m. Here's what he said happened. He goes, they pull the plane away, and they stop for a minute, and the pilot comes on and says, we've got a little mechanical issue. It's going to be delayed 15 minutes here on the tarmac. And then he comes back on and he goes, our starter is out, which, I mean, I didn't know a plane had a starter. I guess it does, right? Like any other engine. And he says, we're going to have to go back to the gate to fix that. And then they come out. So he says, like, we're sitting out and they keep delay. And then the pilot comes out and is like, guys, we don't have anybody in Birmingham that can fix that. We're going to have to fly in the part and the crew from Houston to fix it. So this is going to be a significant delay. Gary said it ended up being 6 o'clock. He said, so I just got an Uber from the airport. He goes, you know how Gary is. He goes, I went to that little downtown area by the stadium and ate a bunch of Mexican food.
I got a chance to we've met him before, but before his show on Friday night, so that's been like 2 weeks ago. But I had a chance to meet him, and he was talking about how different he is in life right now to younger Gary and how much they would go out and stuff.
Different guy now?
He's a different guy.
The first
guy.
The first time we ever had him on in studio was, like we pretty much didn't know who he was. This is when we were downstairs, and we had that room with that green screen.
Yeah.
There was a piece of paper, it was a big green screen, and he came in, and I was like, dude, you're early. We got about like 30 minutes before we have you on. He's like, hi. And I was like showing him around. I was like, do you want something to drink? He's like, no. He's like, is there anywhere that's dark? And I was like, over here in this room. He went behind the curtain.
I remember that.
Behind that sheet. He goes, turn the lights off and just get me when y'all ready.
And he went to sleep.
Awesome.
And then he came in and he was on 10, right?
He turns it on.
Well, did you not notice when we had him on this time, he's on Zoom.
In a casino.
And so that shows you that those younger comedians, I'm still surprised at some of the guys that would come by our studio. Like a guy like Kevin Pollak, I've never found him funny, but he was very established in his career, and to still have to do those morning tours.
Yeah, boy,
where
it's tough.
You're jumping to local TV, local radio.
But some guys love that.
Yeah.
Like
Kevin Pollak didn't, I can tell you.
Yeah. a lot of people don't, where they just won't give you anything. But like Tom Arnold, he sat behind me for 10 minutes and just so like out of it, and then he gets in the studio with you and he turns it on. It's just so crazy. You couldn't shut him up.
Man, Brandon in the mybookie.ag chat room was at Disney 3 weeks ago, ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the Orlando airport. Worst day of my life.
Oh, my gosh. That airport is awful.
Yeah,
that in Vegas are some of the longest lines you will ever see in TSA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost worth, if you're going to travel to Orlando or Vegas, and that's the only flight you're going to take, it's almost worth getting that TSA pass.
Oh, the pre-check?
Yeah.
It's only like, I've done it. I told you, it's only like $70. And all you got to do is you go and you answer a few questions and you get it. And I've been pre-checked for several years. There are no lines of pre-check.
Well,
almost no lines
But
of
once
pre-check.
you go through and do the interview or whatever, does it renew?
Yeah, I think you just pay to renew it. As long as you don't get arrested or make a terrorist threat or something like that, I think you're good.
I think you're okay.
Yeah. All right, let's do this real quick.
Of course, JT got arrested yesterday. Right?
He did. All right. So let's just be real about this. We're going to do the greatest players later. We're not going to get to it.
Yeah,
here.
we don't have time.
I don't want to rush that one. If you're Justin Timberlake, why are you driving? First of all, right? I mean, that guy's got all the money.
Here's what I'm guessing. So the Hamptons are so exclusive this time of year up in New York. I am guessing for whatever reason, I don't even know what the car was. Did we see what the vehicle was?
No idea. I'm going to guess a Bugatti.
Yeah, it's probably something really nice. He was probably jumping from one party to the other. Still makes zero sense why he would get behind the wheel, but he did it, and now he is all over the internet. But I guarantee you he slept like a baby still.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
He did. He's okay. I mean, I'm sure that I don't know that he's got any priors. Don't you think charges probably get dropped?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think most of these DUIs, look at those eyes.
Yeah, it's just glass eyes, man. I mean, it's tough. I hate that. I will say this, though.
I mean, he's probably already cut a check for, I don't know, I think the normal citizen would probably pay $10,000, $15,000 and go to driving school. He's probably going to pay $25 to $50 to make sure it goes away.
I will say this. It is still in my master plan to never get arrested. Yep. But if I do get arrested, if my mugshot looks that good, that is at least a win right there. Like it's still in my master plan,
though, right?
Well, I don't want the glassed over eyes, but there's a reason you're getting arrested. You're not getting arrested because you're just too good looking.
Give me a look here. If you get arrested with a hat and then you got to take it off,
hat hair,
and then you've got that.
We should do a thing because
how do we never see that though? I never see a mugshot with a hat hair. People have got to wear hats when they get arrested.
We should do that one day where we take pictures of each other as mugshots because you can't smile. How would you do your mugshot? Because you're kind of like, I can't show.
Well, I mean,
you can't.
What have I been arrested for? What am I arrested for? Capital murder. I'm probably not going to smile.
It's just on AL.com. Ryan Brown arrested, and the first thing it says is your mugshot. I'm not telling you the crime, but like, what do you like? Because that's going to be public. Everybody's going to look at that face. He's
Scotty,
smiling.
can you find Ian's?
Oh, God.
Well, the funny thing about the Ian thing, and we've told the story before, it was a Friday, and him and I are prepared to do the show, and he shows up and literally gets cuffed in my front yard because he ran a stop sign, and he had that bounce check from a decade before from Tuscaloosa for like $13. And they extradite him all the way to Tuscaloosa, and I go on the show, and me and Rocky are like, yeah, he took his vacation a day early, and midway through the show, we get the mugshot starts popping up. And then Ian tells us, I purposely made the mugshot look that bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I doubt that story.
He also said he's in cell block C. They said, no, they just let me sit in the office and watch ESPN. I was like, which one was it?
Scotty Scheffler. All right, more on Tennessee when we return. The Swain event with us, Jayson Swain. That is next on The Next Round.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Our friends at Longest Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Longest offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Longest offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Longest sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Longest has to offer you.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We're about to talk a little more college football with Jayson Swain, the Swain event up in Knoxville, former Tennessee wide receiver, Alabama native. Precision Sports Medicine, Orthopedics, bringing you part of the show today. Sometimes life can knock you down when you're doing the things you love, pickleball, golf, the things you hate, yard work, workouts, things like that. If you pull something, twist something, break something, let Precision Sports Orthopedics help you out. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. I was mentioning last night, I was considering my top 5 athletes that were born in the state of Alabama. This guy's an athlete that was born in the state of Alabama. You did not.
Just missed the top 10.
You were not in front of Willie Mays. I got to tell you, you did not get in front of Willie Mays, Swain.
Hey, that's okay because he's the best baseball player ever. Technically, I was born in Illinois, so I didn't qualify anyways. Yeah,
I'm glad you. I'm glad I didn't put you on the list. Grew up in Alabama, though. I'll give you grew up.
Hey, can we clear something up, Jason? Because we were talking about this earlier, and I said I've heard it pronounced 7 different ways. Nico's last name, Nico is
Maliava. Is what I'll go with.
Yeah, you don't feel confident.
I usually go with just Nico, but I'm more comfortable saying his last name than I think most people. So.
Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna keep with Nico till I hear it a few more times.
Yeah, go with Nico.
It was obviously, and Tennessee's our preview team today. The panel of voters, which these are members of our audience, people in the sports media, Jason, voted Tennessee number 16. And I think some of that is because they're wondering what you get with Nico. We saw it in the bowl game, and I just never know how to rate those bowl games. Iowa's a great defense. You never know about, motivation in bowl games and things like that. So when you got to see him play a full game, what jumped out at you from him?
He's different, guys. I mean, you've heard so many recruits come in, they're 5 stars, they're the best thing since sliced bread, and sometimes you're really hesitant to really go there with them. But with Nico, you shouldn't be. He's special. He's mobile. He's a great leader. He is humble. He's accurate with the football. It doesn't matter if he's on the run or if he's in the pocket. He's just special, and he's very, very coachable. What you saw in that bowl game was an offensive line that was beat up. You had several starters out. You had an offensive receiver group that was banged up and didn't have their best players, and Tennessee has since upgraded that position. We're still looking to see how explosive they will be. You need to have guys on the outside like Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman like you had in 2022. So that is yet to be seen from the wide receiver group. But this offensive line has been retooled. You brought in Lance Hurd from LSU. Guys are healthy. He's special. Listen, he is special. I'm not really concerned with him living up to expectations because he is that guy.
With that said, from 7-6 in year one to Heupel to 11-2 to 9-4, when we were previewing Tennessee earlier, I said I kind of think that bar for Tennessee fans is we need to win 10 games and go to a college football playoff. Probably not fair when you talk about how loaded the SEC is, but is that kind of the mentality with Tennessee fans right now?
I think it is fair. I mean, Josh Heupel was entering his fourth season. You're in your third quarterback. Your third quarterback is a sophomore, someone that you have identified as the face of the franchise, someone that you want to build around. I mean, Tennessee went to bat against the NCAA because of Nico. So he's the guy. And you've had years to have multiple recruiting classes to build that depth on the defensive line, linebacker group, and in the secondary. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's the bar. That's the standard for this year's group. And one thing I like about Josh Heupel, he's not shying away from it. He embraces it. That should be the goal, is for this team to get to the college football playoff.
Jayson Swain is with us at Swain Event on Twitter is where you follow him. He's part of Jayson Swain there, but the Swain Event on Twitter there on the Sports Animal in Knoxville. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. We were talking about that schedule earlier, and it is an interesting September with those two. They're two easy wins, but then there are two interesting games. One in Charlotte against NC State. That's a good enough team to beat Tennessee. And then on the road in Oklahoma, where you get your first good road test there if you're Tennessee. Both those games coming in September, losable games, winnable games. You could see a 4-0, you could see a 2-2. I think it's a fascinating September.
Yeah, definitely a toss-up game. I think Tennessee will enter that game as a better team, but you have to play well to win. Grayson McCall is the transfer quarterback coming in at NC State, so he's experienced, he's tough, he's gritty. So defense will have their work cut out for him. And then Oklahoma, that's Josh Heupel's first time going back home. And he won a championship there as a quarterback, but that relationship between him and the Stoops, not the best relationship. And so that's going to be a good week right there. Sore lines will pretty much do the work for us that week. But the Oklahoma Sooners, they have a first-year quarterback as well as Tennessee. The word is they have some offensive line questions. Tennessee's most experienced and deepest and most talented group is defensive line. James Pierce will be a top 10 pick. You look at Omar Norman-Lott, who could have went to the NFL last year. A lot of experience, a lot of talent. So defensive line should lead for Tennessee this season. And you have an offensive line that's very experienced, a defensive line that's very experienced, and some really good play at quarterback. You're supposed to win 9-10 games in the SEC. Normally. So we'll see what happens.
I want to go back to something you said with Heupel and Stoops, because, after the 11-win season, there were people, one day Heupel's going to go back to Oklahoma, and then the other side, he could never go back to Oklahoma. What exactly, Cliff Notes version, went down between, as much as between Heupel and the Stoops?
When Heupel was offense coordinator there, their defense was worse than their offense that year. Well, Stoops' brother was defensive coordinator, Mike Stoops. Heupel was offense coordinator. They fired Heupel instead of Stoops, who was the defense coordinator. The offense was good that season. And so I think that has always been a part of Josh Heupel. And he's going to go to Oklahoma, and I'm pretty sure that he's going to have that in mind. We've seen Heupel run up the score in other games versus coaches. He's shown some pettiness there. I personally like it. We'll see what happens in Oklahoma. But, yeah, he shouldn't have gotten fired that year. But you going to fire your brother, or you going to fire, your former quarterback that won a championship for you? So Stoops picked his blood.
So Brent Venables might catch the stray for the Stoops brothers? That's what's going to happen here potentially?
Potentially, yeah, potentially. Offense has to play well, team has to play well, but there's some extra sauce to this game for sure.
You mentioned James Pierce, and what a fantastic first year. 14.5 tackles for loss, had the 10 sacks. Could you make an argument behind Nico's second most important player on this team?
I wouldn't call him the second most important player. I would call Cooper Mays the center, the second most important player. And I would argue that he's the most important player. Honestly, Cooper Mays, when you look at the tempo of this offense, the center is who goes and sets the line. He chases down the ball. Everyone gets lined up on him, and then the ball is snapped. Well, you can't do that unless you have a center that understands what's going on. Cooper does understand what's going on. He's experienced. He's tough as nails. Last year when Tennessee went on the road and played Florida, that interception happened because of pressure right up the middle. You didn't have Cooper Mays for the first couple of games. His first game back was versus South Carolina, and that's when the offense started to look a little bit better. I think Cooper Mays is either 1 or 1B as far as most important. Best, that's James Pierce, no doubt about it, this season, and then Nico following James. But Cooper is very, very important to the success of this team and this offense.
Former Tennessee wide receiver Jayson Swain at Swain Event is where you find him, a sports animal up in Knoxville. Thank you very much for the time, Jayson. Always good catching up with you.
Heck yeah, man. Y'all keep kicking butt. Thanks for the time. Appreciate
All right, buddy. You too. Thank you, Jayson. Jayson with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. A reminder, Johnston RV Center, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Those two lots have both been completely repriced. They are so confident in their pricing, those two lots, that they are giving you a price guarantee. They will beat any price you bring to them on a comparable RV nationwide. That is a nationwide guarantee. They're at Johnston RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Also, RV warranty forever. Lifetime warranty on everything new and qualifying used. You could see more at johnstonrvcenter.com. johnstonrvcenter.com. Coach Skip Holtz is waiting in the green room right now. We're going to get to the back-to-back champion of the USFL and UFL. Coach Skip Holtz with us on the show next.
Follow LT on Twitter at thelancetaylor.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you, 969-8100 or michelson-laservision.com.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239 Equal Housing Lender.
Our friends at Long Use Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Long Use offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Long Use offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Long Use sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Long Use has to offer you.
All right, we continue on the next round. We got a three-time world champion in studio with us. Coach Skip Holtz joins us now. Welcome in, Coach. Congrats again.
Well, thank you. It's great to be back for sure, but it's even better to win.
These three-peats are easy, right?
You know, I think it's all going to sink in one day because I don't know. I can look back and go, wow, year one, boy, that was pretty special what we did. Year two is pretty incredible, but you know what? This one, year three, with the XFL and the UFL coming together, the debate about which has got the better ball, the product, which I think has been much, much better with the dispersal of both teams and both leagues. But this is a pretty rewarding thing, and to see what we've been able to accomplish now, it's been pretty special. It'll all sink in here in the off season.
That's one thing about you coaches. It's hard for you just to stop and enjoy the moment. I mean, you've got to work so much ahead. It's really hard, isn't it?
Well, when you're in the middle of it, it's kind of like, honestly, you look back and you go, oh my gosh, we were 11-1. You know what I mean? It's like you're so focused on what's next, because you have so much to get done in preparation to play your next game. Yesterday's blurry. You know what I mean? You don't ever have a chance to sit down and really look back and go, wow, we were 11-1. That's pretty cool. And then you start talking about winning three in a row. But I said to somebody, they said, how in the world do you go 32-4?
Right. How do you?
And I said, you know what? We set out to go 1-0 against New Jersey 3 years ago. Honestly, that's how you get there. We got to find a way to win this one. And I was scared to death that we were going to get beat by 50 points, going in that first time in pro ball. Is this going to work? What I'm doing offensively, does this work? Is a college game going to relate over to the pro game? And I walked into that game scared, and we won. And then it was like, whew, all right, let's see if we can get next week. And here we are 3 years later, and you go, wow, we've done a lot.
And now the expectation is a 4-peat.
That's right. We got to have number 4.
The amazing thing, we talked about this Monday when we were talking about the championship, is you've done it with a handful of quarterbacks. Normally, Kansas City's going to be going one for in the NFL, and they're going to be your favorite.
Right.
But they've got Pat Mahomes. They've got one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. You guys have done it with multiple quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to the players. I mean, obviously, the way they come in, they all come in here really hungry. It's not by choice. I've played with 3 different quarterbacks, or 4 different quarterbacks that we've played so far. I'd love to have the same one, but unfortunately, the NFL keeps coming in and taking them away from us, or injuries happen, and that's part of the game as well. So one of the things I've loved about the league is I'm in the quarterback room again. As coaches, you start in the profession and you're a position coach, and you're in the room and it's X's and O's, and then you become a coordinator, and then you become a head coach, and you get away from that room a little bit and getting into the middle of the forest and digging through the trees. But now I'm back in the room talking about, all right, we're going to read this boundary safety, and when he turns and goes to the field, we're coming back to the boundary, or we're going to go. This is my passion. I love this part of it. It's one of the things I've always loved about football. I love watching these quarterbacks get developed and all that, and it's been a lot of fun for me because not only are you calling plays and trying to be a head coach, but you're getting on the ground floor with these quarterbacks and digging in. And so it's been rewarding for me. It's been a pleasure for me, but it's building those relationships with those guys and watching them get better. And they all are just trying to get to the next league. That's what they're all trying to do.
Another thing we brought up the other day is, why in the hell did Louisiana Tech get rid of you? I mean, look, you're a very positive guy, which we respect that. Yep. But, I mean, and I don't even know, and that's another thing. People are like, is Skip going to go back to college?
Yeah, we get asked that a lot. Yeah. What about your future?
And there's a ton of money there. We know that. But it's a different world now with NIL and transfer portal.
One of the reasons that I got here was because Louisiana Tech fired me. I've had, we were talking about in the last 12 football seasons, I've been to I don't know, 8 bowls, won 7 of them, won 3 championships, and had 1 losing season. And the 1 losing season was when I got fired. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's
tough occupation.
Hey,
by the way,
it's an occupational hazard losing, for sure. But you know what? I never would have found this. And I got fired there. We had been to 7 bowl games in a row. We had won 6 in a row. We were having great success. We had 1 losing season. I got fired, and I got sour on college football. I mean, it was like, you know what? To do what we've done, and nobody appreciates it. Nobody cares. 1 bad year, get out. You know what I mean? Next. And I thought, you know what? I'm done. And I had a lot of college opportunities when they fired me, which I think was they fired me at Louisiana Tech, and I had other college jobs trying to hire me. And I was turned off by it because of the what I went through at Louisiana Tech. And when this opportunity came, it was new. It was pro ball. It had the support of Fox. And I never would have sat down and listened to the conversation had I still been at Louisiana Tech. But being out of it, it was something that excited me. It challenged me, took me out of my box a little bit, and excited me. And that's at my age, I just want to find something that's going to get you out of bed in the morning to wake up and go, hey, let's go to work. You know what I mean? Like, it's not work when you get up out of bed and you don't need an alarm and you can jump out and go, let's go get it done. I mean, and I have absolutely loved this. It's been an incredible journey. I've loved Birmingham. I have loved this league. I've loved pro sports. I think it's one of the best jobs I've had, and I never would have found it had they not released me. So as much as I can look back and say, you know what, they have the right to hire whoever they want. That's part of the thing that they have, is they can decide who they want to be their next football coach. I hope they find what they want. I love Sonny Cumbie. He's a really good guy. I cheer for that place. I want him to win, but I have certainly been blessed, you know what I mean, with the opportunities that have been put in front of me.
Is this what you thought it would be, though? Like, so when, when you get the offer and it's like, hey, it's new league now. I mean, there's a lot of unknown there. At the time it was, we're all going to be in Birmingham together, and right. It was just, there was a lot of unknown, and it was a lot of different. As you look back on it now, could you have convinced yourself this is what it was going to be like?
No, it's better than I thought. I mean, and I never, I don't know, I'm a positive guy. I think the glass is always half full. And when I sat down and talked to him, to Brian Woods, who was the guy that first gave me this opportunity, who was working with Fox, and met with Eric Shanks and talked with the people with Fox. And Kevin Sumlin was a big part. He had already kind of signed up. He was a big part of selling me. But when I heard the support of Fox, I never even considered it failing. That was never even, Eric Shanks was like, look, we're committed to this thing for 3 years. We're going to build this thing. This is what we want. This is how we're going to build it. This is why we're doing it. I was like, I'm in. I mean, he sold me, and I was like hook, line, and you know what I mean? They might have been reeling me in, but I was all on board. And so somebody said to me, they said, did you ever think like a spring league hasn't made it past 6 games? And I thought, I'm glad I didn't know that then. You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't have done it. But I mean, I just jumped in, and we've been going, and it has been, like I said, it has been awesome. I've been blessed.
There's the video. Scott showing the video of you getting dunked. I know that never gets old.
I need to watch this because I want to know who the culprits were. I see Jamar there. I see that looks like Ricky Person.
They're coming for you. They're coming for you.
Yep. And then right there, Brock Heward set me up big time because he takes that microphone and puts it right in front of me. He goes, Coach, with a couple seconds left on the clock, and goes to ask me. And I saw him look up and start running. It was like by the time I turned my face, just in time to get a face.
I would assume that never gets old.
Yeah, no, it does not. It's cold. No, it is like a whoo. Yeah. I mean, it's cold, but they could do it to me. I mean, every day. It's totally worth it.
You talked about you were a little bitter after La Tech lets you go, at least towards the college game.
Yeah.
But there was a minute that you went to Chicago, to Evanston, and you helped out the Northwestern program, and it really was a fascinating story. Pat Fitzgerald seemed like one of those guys that was going to be at Northwestern forever.
Agreed.
And then David Braun comes in, no head coaching experience, was the defense coordinator at North Dakota State, and maybe one of the least talked about great stories of college football last year, winning 8 games. Just tell us about that experience.
Well, start after championship number 2. I got a phone call. Would I be interested with everything going on at Northwestern? They had the hazing accusations that went on. Pat Fitzgerald's a great friend of mine, unbelievable amount of respect for him. He, in my opinion, does it the right way, has always done it the right way, is about ethics, morals, values. I just have great respect for him.
It was a shocking story.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Uncharacteristic of what you would think would come out. I don't believe it. I wasn't there for it all. I don't know what happened, but I didn't believe it. They asked me if I'd be interested. I said, you know what? Put me on the phone with David Braun. Give me about 2 hours and let us just talk. Put us on a Zoom call. Everybody else get away and let's talk. And we hit it off. We talked values, theories, coaching philosophies. And I told him, I said, look, if you want to be the defense coordinator, call me. And I can help you as a head coach. If you want to be the head coach, go hire a D coordinator and let me go travel with my family and go do what I'm going to do this fall, getting ready for year 3. He called and said, you know what? I want to be the D coordinator and I need help being a head coach. I've never done this before. And so as I told them, I ran into the burning barn. Everybody said, why would you go? That place is on fire. I said, exactly. That's why there's a group of coaches and players that are being, everybody was the villain. Everybody was guilty. Everybody was part of the hazing story. There were picketers outside practice that they would walk through to go to practice. It was as sad of a story, you know what I mean, that there is. But the story was the group of young men on the inside that rallied together. They were 1-11 the year before. They had a ceiling of 1.5 games in Vegas, you know what I mean, that they were going to win this year. And for that team with an interim head coach, as I told David Braun, I've got 2 goals. 1, I want to get this team to a bowl game. 2, I want to get that interim tag removed off you. I didn't go up there to get the head job. I have a job. I love my job. I want a 3-peat. I want to go back and see if we can win a 3rd. So it wasn't, I'm going to go there and maybe I can be the head coach and maybe it was truly the opportunity to go work with a great group of guys and see what you could do to help. To win 8, to beat Utah in a bowl game, to see those players celebrate and the joy from where they were and the way they were all villainized to what they were able to accomplish will be one of my great stories, you know what I mean, that I was able to be part of.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
But it does mean, as you pointed out to us before we started the interview, you've coached, 37 games in 14 months?
37 games in 14 months.
That's incredible.
Well, that's why I am ready to put my head on a pillow for a couple of days. I am ready. Because when the Northwestern thing, you'd asked about it, when it came up, I told my wife I was going to do it, and she goes, well, we were going to go to Ireland. Well, we were. You're right. Well, we were going to go here. You told me we were going to do the first fall I've ever had off, you know what I mean, in my whole life. And we were going to go do all these things. I know, honey, but we'll do it next fall. Next fall. So you end up canceling a lot of things, but it's been a whirlwind. I would not take any of it back. I need to recharge my batteries right now. I think that was one of the more rewarding things I did, but it was definitely under the unique circumstances and the respect I have for Pat Fitzgerald and the conversation I had with David Braun. And I'm happy for him. He's now the sitting head coach, deserves it. Couldn't be more excited for him. But at the same time, I'm glad that I had the opportunity to come back because this is the job that I want right now, is having the opportunity to lead Birmingham.
Go back to 1986. You're playing at Notre Dame.
Yep.
Your 1 carry. What do you remember most about it?
Oh, my gosh. 17 to the left. I was the right halfback, ran it over to the left. No, it was like 1 carry, 1 yard. That was it, baby. You know what? 1 carry. Hey, positive. It wasn't 1 carry for no gain. It wasn't 1 carry for -1. 1 carry, 1 yard. You know, I was a walk-on, was not a great player, loved the game.
You are the original Rudy, and are you one of those? There's so many people. That's a polarizing movie. I mean, it's crazy. Yep. I went to South Beach one time, or not South Beach, South Bend.
They're not the same.
They're
by the way.
not the same. Not the same at all.
The same.
But and this was in 10, 15 years ago. They were playing Tennessee. And I remember Rudy walking through the stands, and a lot of people were coming up and talking about him. And then I heard some other Notre Dame fans, that it was so sensationalized. I think you hate the movie, don't you?
I'm not a huge fan of it. No.
Yeah. But was that what practice was like for a walk-on?
It all depends upon the head coach. You know what I mean? It all depends upon the head coach. But
you knew the head coach, right?
My last year at Notre Dame was my father's first. So it was pretty cool because I had an opportunity to be there first. You know what I mean? So for me, I went the Rudy route. I went to Holy Cross. When I try and explain to everybody, I didn't have 2 years of a foreign language coming out of high school. I told them I came out of Arkansas. They were lucky I had 2 years of English. You know what I mean? So I didn't have 2 years of a foreign language, and so I had to go to Holy Cross for 2 years to get my foreign language commitment to get into Notre Dame. And so then I went to Notre Dame. Dad was at Arkansas at the time, then went to Minnesota, and then came into Notre Dame my very last year.
Jerry Faust was the coach?
Jerry Faust was there during that time.
Yeah.
And so when I went from Holy Cross over to Notre Dame, got an opportunity to play for my dad for that 1 year, was great. It was a great experience for me. I was a special team player. I was a walk-on, and it just, for me, it gave me the lessons the game teaches you about hard work.
Were you living
effort.
at home? Because I would think
no.
if you would have left it, or if you would have lived at home, you would have seen your dad less, though, right?
Yeah, no, I did not live at home. I lived on campus as a student, and then mom and dad moved in. It was a great place because now I had a place to go do laundry and get a home cooked meal. So that part was great. I would have had to drive to Minnesota my junior year, but I had an opportunity to get that my senior year, and then got blessed to get into this game of coaching and went down to Florida State and have never looked back. I had a job at the time paying me about $70,000 to get into the business world. And I turned that down to go make $400 a month to go be a GA at Florida State.
Under Coach Bowden.
Yeah. And went there and have never looked back and never been to work a day in my life. I just have absolutely fallen in love with it. Had some phenomenal mentors, and Bobby Bowden and Earl Bruce, and then working for my father on two different occasions, back at Notre Dame and at South Carolina. But it has been a phenomenal experience, run. I'm passionate about the game. I'm passionate about the lessons it teaches. I'm passionate about the development of the player, which is where I think the college game has lost its niche. I always said I would never leave college. I'd never go pro because I love the development side of the game. And I believe right now what I'm in is probably the purest level of football going on right now, because you've got everybody's making the same money. Colleges can't say that. The NFL can't say that. You've got guys that are here because they love the game. They want to play. They want film. They love the game and they want to get better. And if you can help them get better, they're like shadows. Like every time you stop, they bump into you. You know, they're like, Coach, what do I do here? What should I do? Should I go inside, outside? How do I do this? What do you think I need to be doing with my back foot here? What do you think? And they're just passionate about it. I walked into my first team meeting and said, 3 things we got to get done. And everybody's like, you know, grabbing paper and pencil and writing everything down. And it's like, what a breath of fresh air. Because right now in colleges, if you're in a group of 5, you're trying to have a great year to go to a Power 5. If you're in a Power 5, you're trying to find who's going to pay you more from the NIL. And the way I think the portal is needed. Honestly, I think it's a great thing. I'm on a tangent now. Sorry.
Keep rolling. Keep tangenting.
But I think the portal is needed for players to enjoy this great game and have the opportunity. If they get into a situation, not what they thought it would be, different coaching changes, don't get to play, not playing the role they want, they can go find a home to enjoy this great game because they have a limited window when they can play it. I think the NIL is needed. There is a lot of money being made right now at a corporate level. I know that there's Title IX bills and there's college bills, but there's enough to share. And I think the players deserve a part of it. I think the two of them together are poison. I think players are now transferring for NIL money, and that's not what it's all about. That's not what it was designed to be all about. And I think the sooner they can get rid of these collectives and kind of put everybody, make some rules, and soon everybody can kind of get on the same page, I think the better chance college football has to find some stable footing.
Coach Skip Holtz is with us in studio. But you're coaching a group of guys, and this is a motivating factor. There's no doubt that know that this is their last chance.
Yes.
I mean, this is my last chance to play football.
Yes.
And a lot of college guys should understand that because it is also their last chance. They don't think that.
No, they don't. They're all going. I mean,
that's right. They're all going to the NFL.
Go into a team, any college, and who's going to the NFL? Stand up. 108 guys will stand up. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, 2 of you are right. The other 101, you're wrong. Get ready to use that degree that you're not going to class for. Yeah, get ready to use that one because you're going to need it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. It is the reality. This game. There are not a lot of positions when you look in the big picture for the number of people that play it that go from high school to college to the NFL. And just evidenced by the talent that's in our league right now that's not in an NFL camp. And all they're trying to do is rebrand themselves and get that opportunity again. I know Tillman is looking, he's out in Denver right now as a defensive end who's probably going to sign there. Ricky Persons is supposed to sign out in Seattle. I mean, we've got a number of players, I think. Garvin, I think, is working out for the Cowboys this week. I mean, last year we had 22 players in an NFL camp, 22 players out of our 50. Now, out of those, like 9 made it, but 22 got into a camp. I think that's what this league is about, is giving those guys that second opportunity. And so, it is definitely the next stop's the bus stop. If they don't make it here, it's time to start getting into the real world.
Did the NFL guys call you? I mean, like, does a front office call you and say, "Tell me everything you can about this guy"? I mean,
they do. I mean, they do. Believe me, they do the research, because when they do them, pay them at different levels. They're going to do the research. They are going to talk to everybody they can to find out everything they can about a certain player. What makes him tick? What are his highs? What are his lows? Positives, negatives? What's he do special? I mean, they're all about the questions about these players.
We talked about your relationship with your dad, and a lot of guys in your situation, maybe they get opportunities a lot quicker. You grinded.
Yep.
And from 94 to 98, you were in Storrs, Connecticut, and big story a couple of weeks ago, Dan Hurley flying out to L.A. Would he take the Lakers job? I'm a Lakers guy, but I was like, if I'm Dan Hurley, I'm staying in Storrs. I've never personally been to Storrs, but his opportunity to go for a three-peat coming up.
Yep.
What is Storrs like? That basketball, the blood there. You coach with Jim Calhoun.
And Gino Auriemma, you know what I mean? There were the two coaches there when I was there. And I used to love having the opportunity to go watch those guys as a young coach. I was 29 years old. I'm the head coach at Connecticut. That's like, all right, where's the manual that tells me how to drive this ship? It was my first head job. But it was a great experience. I was born in Mansfield, right outside of Storrs, so that's where Dad was coaching at Connecticut when I was born there. So I was born there, had a little nostalgic to me to have the opportunity to go there, to be the head football coach. Storrs, the first thing when you come up over the hill, there's a dairy farm right there. And that's kind of where it starts. So, like, if you've ever been to Storrs, you might rethink L.A. or Storrs. You might rethink that a little bit. Great place. It's just very removed, way out in the country, but it's a great place. It really is. And it's Connecticut's a small state, but it is a very passionate state. So it's a great place, and they love their hoops. Did
you ever get snow days being up there? Down here in Alabama, we would get
just the threat of snow gets us snow day.
It might snow. Everybody's out of school.
Right. Even in Connecticut?
No.
Oh, I was about to say.
It dropped. We'd have nor'easters where it dropped 42 inches of snow like overnight. And you're trapped in your house, and it's like, all right, state of emergency. Only emergency vehicles for the next 24 hours. After that, it's all bets off.
Unbelievable.
So you got mounds of snow that you can't see over, trying to shovel out. I mean, it was, it was a little bit different. But no, they know how to handle it there. They're prepared for it there.
Yeah. All right. So will you be back next year? You the Stallions coach next year?
I plan on it. Certainly plan on it. I mean.
So money can't pry you away.
I'm not, never say never, and I'm not just talking about money, but I don't do this for money right now, and I've been very blessed to be a head coach for about 30 years. And so, it's not about me trying to get the next dime. It's about me feeling challenged in the opportunity I have ahead of me. There are some other things out there that might excite me. I don't know. I've never had a huge desire to be in the NFL, but that intrigues me a whole lot more than college does right now.
Like it's somebody said, hey, we want you to be the quarterback's coach for the New York Jets.
It's something I'd consider. Yeah. Can I tell you I'd take it? Right now, what motivated me not to be at Northwestern a year ago was I wanted an opportunity to three-peat, and now there's that number 4 out there, you know what I mean, that seems looming on the horizon. Then it's like, well, we got to 3. Can we get to 4? You know what I mean? And those things drive me. Those are challenges. I need to be motivated. I need to be challenged. I don't want to go through the motions. I don't want to go through life as a spectator. And I want to have a situation and a job where I get out of bed every morning and don't feel like I have to go to work. I got to get this done and this done and this done. And it's what I'm passionate about and what I love. And right now, I don't know what the future is going to hold. we'll see what bridges come in front of us, which ones we have to cross. I would tell you that the farther away I get from college, the less likely I am to ever go back. But again, never say never. You don't know the situation that would arise with it. But right now, I love what I'm doing. I love Birmingham. I've said this publicly a million times. This is the best job I've ever had. And I say that because of the athletes that we deal with, the difference that we are making in their lives, the way that Birmingham has kind of opened its arms. I've loved Birmingham. I've lived in Ruston, Louisiana for the last 9 years. Come on. I mean, you know what I mean?
Here comes the bitterness back.
and it isn't a bitterness. I had great memories. I know. And I have great memories from there and great wins and relationships and players and lifelong friends. And, that was a huge part of my life. That was 9 years of my life. And so, yeah, I look back there, but Ruston is a small town, and it's a sleepy little small town. And it's been great to be in Birmingham. It's been great to be in this new league.
You can make an argument now. One of the most successful active head coaches in the state of Alabama, now that Nick Saban
That's right.
is gone.
You moved to the top.
Did you ever have any kind of relationship, any round of golf, anything with Nick Saban?
Yeah, I have great respect for Coach Saban and have never coached with him. Obviously, my father and him had a number of games against each other, and I've known Coach Saban, talked to Coach Saban. But one of the best stories, and I tell this all the time because it's so appropriate, when I was in the 8th grade, Dad was coaching at Arkansas, and they were playing Alabama in the Sugar Bowl in 1980. And Dad said to me, he goes, "You want to go to breakfast?" And I said, "Sure, I'll go with you." So I go with Dad to breakfast, and I have breakfast with Bear Bryant and Lou Holtz.
Wow.
As an 8th grader. So pretty cool. Sitting there, and they're going back and forth, talking. I'm like watching the tennis match. You know what I mean? Like listening to these two talk. And at the end, Dad said, "Skip, do you have anything for Coach Bryant?" I said, "What advice would you give a young guy that wants to get into coaching one day?" He said, "Skip, I would tell you that you need to be at the right place at the right time." I'm in 8th grade. It's the dumbest advice I've ever heard. How do you know when the right place and the right time is? How do you know where to be?
I really can't control that.
Are you kidding me? And now somebody will say to me, it's like, "Skip, what advice would you give them?" I'd say, I think I'd tell you need to be at the right place at the right time. It's amazing how wisdom comes with age and experience, and you start to realize it. But it is so true. I've just like the opportunity to be here right now, the opportunity to be one of the head coaches in the UFL. I was at the right place at the right time. We talked about I had just been let go at Louisiana Tech, or I probably would not have even accepted the phone call to come and do the interview. I mean, so just timing. They say that God looks out for stupid people, so I'm on top of the list.
We're all thankful for that. Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
It's moved past in the chat room now, but Bobby wanted us to thank you for the Generation X Stallions fans, the original Stallions fans, for the 3 titles that the 80s teams couldn't win. So there you go.
Well, the 80s teams are part of what motivated me to be part of this now, was because when everybody talked about it, it's like, why the USFL? I remember it in the 80s.
Raleigh Dodge.
Oh, yeah.
It was going to put the NFL down, right?
Yeah. Well, that was their goal.
Yeah.
That was the way they were competing, and probably one of the reasons that they folded was when they tried to turn and go head-to-head. But that was all part of what excited me back then, was the success that they had then. And so when he said, I said, which team? And he goes, "I don't know if I'm going to put you with New Orleans or Birmingham." And I said, "I just would like one of them." And I was like, I had been in Louisiana for the last 9 years, so it was like so I'm just glad it worked out the way it did.
It's funny you bring that up. We were talking about Howard Schnellenberger. Was that yesterday or 2 days? It was yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
He was the head coach at Miami, just won the national championship, and the USFL team, they were moving one, I think, to Miami, right?
Yeah, Miami Spirit, right?
The Miami Spirit. He was going to be the president, general manager, head coach, and an ownership stake. And they never played a game. And he left the Miami job for that. And they had just won the national championship. Yeah. And you're well aware of what Miami did over the next decade.
Exactly.
And Howard Schnellenberger would have done that. That guy could coach.
Yep.
So, I mean, when you say right place, right time,
it's all part of it. That is to this day, I looked at it then to today as now it's some of the best advice you could give anybody. I mean, part of it's timing. But you know what? How do you know in the right place, the right time? That's why you go to conventions. That's why you go to coaching conventions. That's why you go visit people. That's why you're always trying to build your Rolodex, because you don't know where that opportunity is going to come from. You may go to a business meeting, something, and sit next to somebody and meet somebody that's going to create the opportunity of a lifetime for you. You just don't know where those opportunities are going to come. And that's why you try and work hard, you try and do the right thing, and hopefully there's a master plan, and I can't wait to get up there one day to be able to see it and go, I get it now. It all makes sense. You know what I mean? It all makes sense and how it all played out.
You don't seem like a guy that wastes a lot of time, but would you say that you spend as much time as the Stallions coach as you did at like Louisiana Tech?
In season, I mean, I'm a get up at 5:30, be in the office at 6, and then leave at 8, 9. I mean, go get some dinner, go home, go to bed, and start all day tomorrow. This is all I do. We were living in Dallas here for the last 4 months, and everybody goes, "How was Dallas?" Well, I had a condo 0.2 of a mile away from Choctaw Stadium, which is where we played and practiced. So I would get up in the morning and I would drive my 0.2 miles to Choctaw Stadium and go through one red light and go there. I had a little Keurig in my office, make my coffee, and get to work. When the day was over, I would drive my 0.2 miles back home and go to bed. So when people say, "How's Dallas?" I go, it's not as big as I thought. It's not as big as I remember. I put
27 miles on my car.
a little one red light town.
In 4 months. I drove went through one light and one roundabout. You know what I mean? It wasn't even a light. But it was a great experience for me. Loved it. But no, I didn't work harder in one over the other. But the good thing about this one is in season is a grind. In season is a grind for any coach. It's a 7-day a week. Your light day is game day, and that is the hardest day emotionally. But that is your light day. And then in this league, we traveled 11 weeks in a row. So you were on an airplane getting home at 4 in the morning, because you had a 6 o'clock game. That's over at 9. Your plane's leaving at 11. You get back home at 1. You know what I mean? It's just like crazy hours that you put into it all. But the reward here is there is no recruiting now. We don't go on the road in a college job. Right after your bowl game, you were on the road recruiting the next day. Yeah. You were getting ready for your winter workouts. You were getting ready for spring practice. You were getting ready for your summer workouts. Here, I'll spend a lot of time with Zach Potter, our GM or personnel guy. I will spend a lot of time with him on the phone as we will start putting this roster together for next year now. We will start putting names together and starting the thing. There will be a couple drafts between now and then. And so there will be a lot of work that will go into putting it together, but it's not near the off season. So off season, not even close. In season, probably even harder because you don't have the manpower, and being the head coach, the offensive coordinator, and the quarterback coach, you got to wear a lot of hats. And so it's a pretty big grind, but the reward is at the end because it's not near as demanding once the season's over.
Well, we'll let you get to that nap you've been putting on.
Oh, I am looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that.
Do we get a trip to Ireland? I mean, is the wife going to get to go?
Well, I mean, I'd like to take my golf clubs.
Oh, yeah. It's once in a lifetime.
No, I know. I've never played golf over there. And everybody goes, really? Yeah. As much as you love golf? I said, I've been in college game. I've had 2 weeks off my whole life. One of those, a summer. Every summer I get 2 weeks. Yeah. One summer is spent with my family vacation on the 4th, and one is spent with my family. So my brothers and sisters are a week. My family's a week. Other than that, it's like, when do you go? Well, now I have that opportunity. So we're talking a lot about it, but I want to get back over there. I definitely want to get over there and play some golf, but we're going to have some trips lined up for this fall.
Well, congratulations again. As Birmingham residents, we appreciate the positive light you brought on our city. Well, the Stallions have done that. We appreciate that.
Well, Birmingham has been great to us. Glad to be here. Great respect for y'all. Glad we could do this. I know, not being here in the city is something that frustrates me because the last 2 years we've been able to be here. But like I said, as I told the players, the only thing everybody's shooting for us right now, we're the villains, we're winning. The only thing better than playing against Birmingham is playing for Birmingham. So for me, it's great to be in the city. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it, coaches. They're calling him in the chat room the King of Spring.
King of Spring.
Skip Holtz, the coach of the Birmingham Stallions. We'll come back on the next round after this.
On Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
I can see why people like playing for that guy.
Oh,
I mean,
and you know, such a nice guy, but a positive personality. You know, his dad was polarizing, I think, more so because he was the Notre Dame head coach.
Yeah, I think that was mostly
won a national championship, but he was always such a positive guy, too.
Yeah.
But I was telling Skip, I was like, damn, I didn't realize how big you are. He's a legit 6'2".
Yeah, he's taller than me. He's right between me and you, basically. Yeah, and Lou Holtz is not a big guy.
Yeah. Obviously, the guy can coach, man. I mean, that's pretty crazy when he says, we had been to 7 straight bowls. We had won 6 straight bowls. I have one losing season in now the last 10 years. And he got fired.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I didn't think there was expectations like that in Ruston.
Hey, Way to Wellness is who helped Dunaway drop some weight there and get healthier, and they can do the same for you. Aplanforme.com is the website, aplanforme.com. The reason that is the website is it's not a cookie-cutter program that is just the same thing for everybody. It is a plan for you to get healthier and to start losing weight and improve the numbers in your health game there. It's overseen by Leslie and her board-certified professionals. There is no contract. There is no sign-up fee, and it is a free consultation. They'll run the numbers on you. They'll develop a plan for you. That's why the website is aplanforme.com. Go tell Leslie that you want to start your journey to healthy living just like Dunaway did, just like Lunceford did, just like Melton did. So many up here have benefited from Way to Wellness. You can get started, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. All right. So we mentioned this earlier, and we'll get to it now. In wake of the passing of Willie Mays, last night I made a comment on social media. I said, Willie Mays, in my opinion, is the greatest baseball player of all time and the greatest athlete from the state of Alabama. Now, when I say athlete, I mean sports figure. I don't necessarily mean his athletic ability was the highest, but I think people understand what I mean there. And, after I said it, I'm like, maybe I should have stopped and thought through this before tweeting that when he passed. So I just did my top 5. So Scott has got my top 5, and then Lance has not seen my top 5. So he's going to try to project the next 5 based on what he thinks will be my top 5.
I know for a fact 3 of your top 5.
Okay. Willie Mays is at the top of the list. He's number 1. I did these in order. Hank Aaron, number 2. Bo Jackson, number 3. Ozzie Newsome, number 4. And Jesse Owens, number 5. First of all, what do you think about that top 5?
I think it's a really good top 5. Ozzie Newsome, I think he was before his time.
Yeah,
as far as kind of that tweener,
his skill set in today's game would have been incredible.
Yeah, I mean he'd be right there with the Travis Kelce's and the George Kittles of the world. You've got to have Willie Mays, you got to have Hank Aaron, you got to have Bo Jackson. I think you got to have Jesse Owens, and then I think number 5. So those to me, those
are givens.
Yeah, that's your Mount Rushmore of Alabama athletes.
I would agree 100% with you. And Ozzie was even though I had him 4th, I put Jesse Owens 5th. I probably should have swapped those, honestly. That is probably the swing vote there. I think most people are going to have Mays, Aaron Jackson, and Jesse Owens. And, I mean, it's hard to argue. Bo Jackson's career, obviously because of injury, left you wanting more.
Don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just going pure athlete, I mean, I think
he's probably number 1.
Yeah, Bo or Jesse Owens. So number 5 is very subjective. I don't even think you can argue the first 4, but I knew that those 4 would be on the list. I did not have Ozzie Newsome.
Yeah, I threw you a curveball with Ozzie, right?
Your next 5.
This is the next 5 based on what you thought I would say. And you see my honorable mentions down there, so I guess these next 5 are going to come from my honorable mentions. I had Barkley, Joe Louis, Willie McCovey.
Oh, see, Barkley. I didn't have Barkley in my next 5.
He was not in your next 5?
No, because Barkley would have been where. See, I think Barkley over Ozzie Newsome easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. It's fine. It's your list. All right. So who's your 5?
Is it going to pop up?
I don't know. There you go.
There it is. Joe Louis.
Okay.
Evander Holyfield.
Uh-huh.
Kenny Stabler. Bart Starr. And Carl Lewis.
So you thought I would have Barkley in the top 5. It's why you don't have him there?
Yeah, that's why I would definitely have Barkley in my 5 if I would have known you did not.
John Hanna is, at the time, was considered probably the best offensive lineman in NFL history. There probably have been some after him that have passed him.
Yeah, I think John Hanna, I mean, look, if you went 20 deep, I think Hanna's got to be on there because people talk about one of the best, if not the best offensive tackle.
Leroy Jordan was a tremendous NFL linebacker, though I don't think he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I think Julio Jones has got to be in the top 20.
Yeah, he's really, really good. I mean, I don't have a problem with that next 5. That's what is so difficult about this. Satchel Paige.
Yeah, Robert Horry, people are saying.
Yeah. I mean, Robert Horry, obviously a really good player. I don't think he belongs in the top 10.
No, if you're talking about, he'd be a top 5 guy if you're just talking about championships.
Yeah, just jewelry.
Yeah, Terrell Owens.
Yeah. I mean it's tough. It's tough. I mean, it is. It just shows you for a state our size some of the talent. Like Ozzie Smith was born in Mobile. I don't know how much time he spent there, but he was born in Mobile. Ozzie Smith was.
Yeah.
But when you think about Willie McCovey and Willie Mays from the state of Alabama, that's 2 of the greatest Giants of all time. I mean, I don't know. Like if you do all-time great Giants, Mays, McCovey, Bonds.
Oh, look, you could just put. You could put Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, and throw in Rusty Greer, and you'd have the best offense or the best outfield of all time.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, you're probably right. So
I saw Bobby over there killing me. I would have had Barkley in the top 5.
Yeah. That's the only reason you didn't have him in your next 5.
Satchel Paige. I mean, again, I never saw the guy pitch. Incredible numbers and stuff. Very subjective. I do think with your 4, Bo Jackson, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Jesse Owens, I think Barkley, I think that 5 is, I say pretty easy. I mean, Joe Louis and Evander Holyfield, though.
I mean, is Louis, he's the better of the 2 boxers, right?
He's considered the better of the 2, probably, yeah. The heavyweight division was just a little down when Holyfield was around.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Mount Rushmore is pretty easy when you consider Mays, Aaron, Jackson, and Jesse Owens.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you get away from any of those four if you're doing the old school Mount Rushmore where you're limited just to the four heads.
And I think Barkley would be that fifth. I do.
And Jesse Owens, so much of it, he won 4 gold medals. I mean, like, everybody
politically,
that
what
was
it
the
meant.
thing. Yeah, I mean, to do it in front of Hitler.
I mean, the most impactful athlete on that list it's got to be Jesse Owens.
Yeah, so pretty incredible from this state. All right, Michelson Laser Vision bringing you part of the show, and we'll get to Coach Jans.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. Call that number if you've been procrastinating, if you wear the glasses, you wear the contacts, you're wasting money each and every year. This is the number you need to call. The number that I called, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toad. The next round sent you. Also ask about the pre-inflation pricing. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. Now 2015 vision, better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Mississippi State basketball coach Chris Jans makes his first visit with us next.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at jimdunaway.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali. For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 2015 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Troy asked in the mybookie.ag chat room, is Carl Lewis best known for his athletic accomplishment or his national anthem? I would hope athletic accomplishment.
I would think people under 30, I think 100% is national anthem.
Was it the Nets and the Bulls? Because I remember Derek Coleman had to do.
Wait, was that the Charlie Steiner? Was that the one where Charlie Steiner got so cracked up?
Francis Scott off key.
Off key.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
That's so good.
Like, I can't remember ever watching something that bad. Like, you've got to know, it's got to get out. Like, Carl can sing, man. Carl's going to do the national anthem. And then they've got to go to Carl and say, Carl, do you want to do the national anthem? And then Carl in his head's got to think, I can do this.
Yeah. The thing about the national anthem, there's so much range and it's all in the key you start in. Like, I suppose you see some people blow a little harmonica because they're like, all right, this is a key but he probably started in a key that he could not stay in, and he did that. And the Rockets, we're going to make it up.
Okay, but Rocky, should he have not sang it a couple of times before?
Correct. I think he did, but it also, for some reason, he started in a higher key that he could not stick with. Like, I guess you got to have some kind of, somebody with like, here's a C, stay here.
So you've done the anthem several times. You did it at Talladega one time.
I have, but I'm also not one of the ones that does and the home of the brave.
Yeah, you sing it the way it's written, right?
Bowling and bragging every year.
Yeah. So I try to just do the national anthem. I don't try to like this guy.
Well, I appreciate that.
Get him a record deal because he should sing this everywhere.
I even like, if I'm at an event, I try to sing along, but I kind of watch when I'm singing along because I don't want to disrespect it.
No, I'm 100% with you. Like, I do sing it, but sometimes it's so good. Like, I'll give you one. Sometimes it's so good that you're just like, I just want to stop and listen. This person's really tearing it up. But like, if you're at a high school football game and the band's playing it, I just sing along. But I'm not a big fan of people making it their own. I kind of want them to sing it the way it's written.
Yeah. Like, I don't mind every now and then, like when Jimi Hendrix did it on guitar.
Yeah.
Somebody did it.
People hated it at the time. It was so disrespectful.
I'm sure, yeah.
Didn't somebody do it at an Auburn baseball game recently on guitar?
I think so.
I saw that.
Mike McCready from Pearl Jam does it in Seattle for the Seahawks all the time.
Yeah.
James Hetfield has done it with Kirk Hammett. Flea got destroyed. Remember, he played a Lakers game. He played it on the bass, and people destroyed him for it.
Yeah, I remember when Hetfield and Kirk Hammett did it. I think it was like at an All-Star game or San Francisco Giants.
I think it was at a Giants
maybe it was
game.
World Series.
Yeah. I think you're right. It was.
That was awesome. But people don't like that. That's disrespectful playing on the guitar. You got to sing it. Traditional.
Yeah. Oh, Leor Berman did it, Scott?
That's the one I saw, yeah.
I did not know that, and Little T backs him up. Leor Berman, how about that? Daniel says, look up Fergie and the anthem at the All-Star game. We could get in a bad rabbit hole here. There have been some bad ones.
Yesterday it was fat retired athletes. Today it's bad anthems.
Now it's today bad national anthems. Do you remember, like, Whitney Houston was the gold standard for so long, and then I remember it was, like, controversial that it came out that the orchestra behind her was on track. Like, it was just on, and I'm like,
that was in Tampa. It was Buffalo and the Giants.
And we were at war. We just go to war in the Middle East. So it was kind of a
Desert Storm.
So it's kind of an emotional time, and she absolutely nailed it. And then it was like this controversy that the orchestra was on track, and I'm like, it's a orchestra hastily set up in the center of a football field. Do you really think they're going to mic that and get it right? I mean, they got to put that on a track.
Well, look, she wasn't lip syncing. That's for sure.
No, she nailed it.
So, big question Thursday night when we're at Rickwood for the Giants and the Cardinals, who's going to sing the national anthem?
That is a great question.
Is it the Ruben Studdard game? It was a joke.
A lot of people went to that.
It is Fox.
A lot of people went
You
to
remember that UAB game, man?
I didn't. It was UAB Southern Miss, right? Thursday night?
Yes, it shut down that part of Birmingham just because Ruben was going to be there.
Yeah, I remember. That was when, obviously, American Idol was in its heyday. Everybody was watching American Idol.
I will never forget. Ray Mellick and I left at the end of his and Herb's show and went down there. So that would have been 6 o'clock.
And I did a show right when Herb got off that night.
The Players Club?
It was either the Players Club or the old Round Table.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
How about that? I don't even remember that. So Ray and I left right after the show at 6 o'clock. We did not get in the stadium until halftime. Traffic was a nightmare.
I think it was a legit 35,000.
It might have been
UAB
more.
game back then.
Yeah, it might have been more. And the city of Birmingham, stop me if you've heard this before, was ill prepared for it, and so nobody was working the intersections, and it was just complete gridlock.
Okay, you want to go
stadium.
beer at the game? Who gets closest to singing the national anthem?
I mean, do we know that somebody is actually singing it?
Oh, it has to.
I know they'll do it. But
I am going to go like it's like a national boys, girls choir or something. I think it's going to be getting community involved. Now, I think if they could get a big name, they might do it. But I just don't know if you get a big name Birmingham on a Thursday night.
I don't know who a big Birmingham name is.
Who's in concert this weekend, Rocky? I would have looked to see who was in concert to see if they were off the night before and pay them to come to do the national anthem.
Oh.
Are you at Odie's this weekend, Rockstar?
And is Ludacris playing Iron City? Get Ludacris to come to it?
Oh, I don't know who's on. I'd have to look at all these who's playing this weekend.
I will bet. Does Fox? What have they got? They've got the Masked Singer. Is that right? Do they have anybody that's on there? Because ABC's now American Idol. I'm going to bet it's got something to do with the Masked Singer. I bet Fox brings somebody in.
Or your boy Taylor Hicks. Maybe that one.
Maybe it is Taylor.
Could be. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't even know where to guess on this one. I don't know how we would say who gets closer. Like, I guess if it's any sort of choir, you win, and if it's any sort of recording artist, I win.
What is today's the 19th?
Today's the 19th. Keith says, and I don't know if he's being honest about this, but I could see it. It will be a Birmingham church choir. I could see that.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Well, yeah, I thought. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Bill says, I'm not going to read these because I don't know who's screwing with me and who's not. But thank you for participating in the mybookie.ag chat room.
No, John Batiste is doing something tomorrow. I don't know if it's the national anthem, but it's like some kind of like tribute to the Negro League or something tomorrow.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's going to do the national
John
anthem.
Batiste. All right, so that is official from Lunceford.
We're missing T-Pain by 2 weeks. I'm just looking at people thinking of
upcoming shows.
Oh,
Oh, he is doing the national anthem. It says in a press release from MLB.com.
John Batiste is?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I was not going to guess John Batiste, so
it doesn't matter.
You weren't going to win the beer, and I wasn't either. I think we were going to look at that one and say, yeah, nobody gets paid off there. Let's just enjoy the game. This hour of the show presented by Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champy'schicken.com. Doors are wide open right there. Sterling and the gang have opened the doors. They're ready to go for lunch at champy'schicken.com. Enjoy those great chicken fingers, the Mississippi Delta tamales, the po' boys, great desserts, all the great sides right there at champy'schicken.com. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, champy'schicken.com. We spent a lot of time talking about who's got the hardest schedules when ESPN's FPI unveils the schedules. We don't often come back and talk about contenders with the easier schedules. Now, Georgia has been in that category of late because of the SEC East. Georgia is no longer in that category. Georgia has road trips to Texas and Alabama this year. Not to mention just the rest of their schedule, but they've got road trips to Texas and Alabama.
Yeah, I think Georgia, you could make an argument. I think everybody would say Florida's got the most difficult, then Oklahoma, at least on paper going in, and then I think you could put Texas into that mix.
Yeah.
Or Georgia into that mix, excuse me.
So ESPN FPI, I was reading this article from ESPN, based on their Football Power Index. What contenders, now you have to be considered a contender here, at least in your conference or for the national championship, have the easiest schedules. I'm going to start based on ESPN's FPI with number 5 and work up. Number 5, the Florida State Seminoles from the ACC have the 5th easiest schedule. Scott is going to show you these. We'll touch on some games as we go with Florida State. But real quick, Lance, they open on week 0 in Ireland against Georgia Tech.
We've talked about Georgia Tech's going to be improved, but still, again, Florida State is going to win.
They get to host Clemson. That is one of the challenging games. Their toughest road trips are at Miami and at Notre Dame. They play those in a 3-week period.
Well, those are going to be the only games, in my opinion, that they will be underdogs in. They could be underdogs to Clemson at home, but they're at least going to be favored in 9 games.
Based on ESPN's FPI, Notre Dame is 7th, Clemson is 15th, Florida is 20th. Those are the 3 toughest games they've got on their schedule. At number 4, and I know what you're going to say when I tell you who the team is, you're going to say, well, it's good he's got an easy schedule because he never beats top 10 teams, the Penn State Nittany Lions. And he never beats top 10 teams, so it's good he's got an easy schedule, right?
Okay, well, let's make sure he doesn't have any top 10s on there.
He's got one for sure, but they open at West Virginia, which could be a tricky game. It's a new Fox Big Noon kickoff.
I don't disagree at all. I mean, Neil Brown did one of the more miraculous jobs last year with West Virginia being on that massive hot seat and really turning things around. In Morgantown, I don't think Penn State loses this game, but I think it'll be a lot closer than people think.
The only surefire top 10 game he will play, though, is Ohio State Saturday, November November 2nd, and they do get to host that game.
Yeah, look, there's other opportunities when you look at the schedule. I mean, if USC ended up being a top 10 team, I don't think it would blow people away.
They would probably need to beat LSU right out of the chute to do this.
If Wisconsin ended up being a top 20 team, I don't think it would blow people away. And then I think if Washington ended up being a top 15, top 20 team, I don't think it would blow people away. But you're right. I think there's only really one legitimate shot at a top 10, and it will be a top 10 team in Ohio State.
Yeah, so that is according to the ESPN FPI, the fourth easiest schedule for a contender. The third easiest, and we've discussed this one a little bit of late, is Notre Dame. And we've talked about that Notre Dame-Texas A&M game, first primetime ABC game of the season. College Game Day is going to be there. If Notre Dame can get past A&M, this thing sets up so well for the Fighting Irish. If they can get past Notre Dame. I don't even know. I know Louisville is not just a layup game. It is in South Bend. But, boy, there are a lot of layup games right there before they get to Florida State.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, look, I think Notre Dame will go off as a slight favorite over A&M. Again, that game's going to be right around a pick. So if it was A&M 1 or 2 or Notre Dame 1 and 2, it wouldn't surprise me. But you're right. Outside of that, Purdue, I guess, can always be tricky. Not as tricky as when Braum was there, but Braum now being at Louisville makes that more tricky.
At Purdue, though, and you've seen those tricky games.
I think Notre Dame will be favored against Florida State. I think they'll be favored against USC. I think they're going to be favored in all 12 games.
Yeah.
I think eventually, when it comes time to kick it, I think they're favored in 12. I think Notre Dame will make the college football playoff this year. I think they win 10 or 11 games.
The second easiest schedule.
Do you think with that easy schedule, real quick,
at
10-2, does Notre Dame get in? Obviously, no conference championship.
Well, I mean, let's go back to the schedule real quick, because at 10-2, I'm going to assume. I mean, you give me their losses. Florida State's an obvious one. What's the other loss?
Let's just say it's at A&M.
They might not have a ranked win then.
Yeah. So A&M could be ranked. Louisville could be ranked.
USC could be ranked.
Florida State and USC.
Yeah, I mean.
So you could play possibly 4 ranked teams.
Yeah, but if you've lost to A&M and Florida State, there's also a chance Louisville's unranked at the end of the year and USC's unranked at the end of the year.
I think it will be fascinating. Notre Dame at 10-2, and if their 2 losses are the only ranked teams they've played, with that Notre Dame brand, what wins out?
The second easiest schedule, according to ESPN's FPI, for a contender in their first year in the Big Ten, the Oregon Ducks, according to FPI. Now, they do get both Ohio State and Michigan, but outside of that, their non-conference isn't great. Idaho, Boise State, Oregon State, they keep that series alive in the Civil War. And then they play a Big Ten schedule that it does include Ohio State and Michigan. Michigan on the road, Ohio State at home. But outside of that, not a back-breaking Big Ten schedule they play.
They will find a loss, maybe 2. But Boise State out of conference, Boise State's going to be better. At Oregon State won't be as good, but they're going to have their mat on, no doubt. Playing for state pride, the old Civil War coming early September, which is so weird. At UCLA,
it is going to be a weird time to watch that, yeah.
Don't think UCLA is going to be very good. I mean, when it gets to the back half, the final 2 games, when you're playing in Madison, and then you close it out with Washington, and Washington just mentally had their numbers last year. Look, different Washington team, different coach, different quarterback, but still, that's a tough game. So there's a few tough games on there. I think they're going to be favored in. They might be favored in all 12. I think Ohio State will end up going off the favorites.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And then I think by the time they play Michigan,
game.
I think Michigan's got a loss or 2.
Yeah, so even in Ann Arbor, you think Oregon would be favored?
Could be. But I would lean right now, if you kick that game off this weekend, Michigan would be like a 1 or 2 point favorite.
By the way, Vol fan, back to Notre Dame. If they don't win 10 games with that schedule, you got to put Marcus Freeman out to pasture, he says in the mybookie.ag chat room.
I think Marcus Freeman is one of your safer coaches right now going into the season.
He would seem to be, but that is a disappointment. If they don't win 10 games, that's a disappointing season.
I would agree with that.
All right, now before I tell you who ESPN FPI says is the easiest schedule for a contender, let me remind you, when we say contender, we're talking about conference contenders, and if you win a conference, you're automatically in the playoffs, and you're a top 4 seed. So bear that in mind when I give you this number 1 team. I think you've got to qualify them as a conference contender, therefore they're a playoff contender. The easiest schedule for a contender, the Kansas Jayhawks. And this is one reason you got to consider them a contender, Lance.
Well, I think, I'm one of the few right now that has been saying Utah's going to be favored in the Big 12. But Kansas State, Oklahoma State, or Kansas would be the other teams that can win this conference.
There is a really good chance they get through this schedule playing one ranked team. I mean, I'll read the schedule. You tell me who you think's ranked when they play them. They open with Lindenwood. You don't have to worry about that. At Illinois, UNLV, at West Virginia. If West Virginia beats Penn State week 1, maybe for them.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Kansas going to West Virginia, that is a really difficult game for Kansas.
TCU.
No.
At Arizona State. Bye week, Houston.
No.
At K-State,
Yes.
they should be ranked when they play them. And then after another bye, Iowa State.
I don't think Iowa State's going to be ranked.
At BYU.
I don't know.
Colorado,
No.
you don't. And
No.
at Baylor.
No.
And the weird thing for Kansas is they do not play an on-campus game this year. Their stadium is under construction, so they will not get a true home game. They play TCU at Arrowhead Stadium. They play Houston at Arrowhead Stadium, Iowa State and Colorado, all at Arrowhead Stadium. Everything else is road games. So
yeah, for them to avoid Utah and Oklahoma State, that is massive.
Yeah. I mean, that is a favorable schedule right there.
Kansas is going to be favored in 10 or 11 games.
Yep. And probably, I mean, with that schedule, could be playing for the Big 12 championship. Again, and at that point, you're probably going to have to face Utah or Oklahoma State.
I haven't, and can you pull Kansas State's schedule quickly? Because the reason I'm asking is there is a chance that rolling into October 26th in Manhattan, you've got undefeated.
Kansas State plays UT Martin. That's a win at Tulane. Arizona at home. Tricky game.
Yeah,
but
I
probably
still think 3-0.
At BYU.
4-0.
They do get Oak State at home, and that's a losable game, obviously.
5-0.
After a bye, they're at Colorado.
That's 6-0.
At West Virginia.
That's a tough game, but 7-0.
Yeah, we've made West Virginia a tough game for a lot of people, haven't we? So that's 7-0. That gets them to Kansas. So it could be undefeated in Bill Snyder Stadium.
The
Bill
highest
Snyder Family
price
Stadium
ticket in that rivalry history, you think?
Probably. So I remember one year they played the Sunflower Showdown. It was Mangino's Orange Bowl year, and it seemed like that year Kansas State was really good too. Maybe I'm wrong. But do you remember the year I'm talking about, right? When Mangino took Kansas to the Orange Bowl?
So that was...
And I know Missouri was really good that year. But
that was 2006.
Yeah, seemed like I remember K-State. Was that the Ron Prince era, though? If so, I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, that might have been the last year of Bill Snyder or the first year of Ron Prince. It was one of the two. But the Big 12 championship game, as good as Kansas was, it was Missouri and Oklahoma.
That's right, because Kansas and Missouri played, was it the last week of the regular season?
So Kansas State, at best, was fourth in conference.
Let's see. That year, Kansas State. Oh, they were only 7-6. Yeah,
yeah, and I think that was
Ron Prince.
It's Prince first.
Yeah. How about his offensive coordinator? I've forgotten this was James Franklin. Did you remember that? That was Ron Prince's offensive coordinator. His first year was James Franklin. You know who his defensive coordinator was? Raheem Morris. NFL head coach Raheem Morris was the defensive coordinator.
Should have been a little bit better.
Don't you think? You had the Penn State head coach as your offensive coordinator. You had an NFL head coach as your defensive coordinator.
That was one of my kind of adopted teams. I still pull for K-State a lot. But I remember watching, a lot of stuff on Ron Prince. And, I mean, he was saying all the right things. It seemed like the culture was going to go straight from Snyder to Ron Prince, and it wasn't going to skip a beat, really.
Yeah.
Didn't have success.
I think it gets forgotten, though. Snyder's last 2 years were not great. I'm looking right here. He was 4-7 his next to last year and 5-6 his last year. So he didn't exactly take over. Bill Snyder didn't hand it off the way Nick Saban just handed it off to Kalen DeBoer. I mean, it was not a great program.
Yeah, and those seem like tragic years for Bill Snyder. People tend to forget that when he took the program over, they were 1-11, 0-12, those type of years.
Hey, Greg from Pell City, Storm Restoration Roofing is the name of his company. You hear about Greg from Pell City a lot, but the actual name of the company is Storm Restoration Roofing, and it doesn't require a storm. You might just need a new roof. Look, Greg is more than happy to climb up there on that roof, take a look, and tell you what you need, and he can do that for you right now. Just give him a call. This is his cell number, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531. Let Greg get up on that roof, give you an estimate. He works with the insurance companies great as well, so your adjuster and he can work together just fine. Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531. That is Greg from Pell City. I mentioned, I asked Rockstar if he's in concert at Odie's this weekend. I don't know the answer. You guys are there tonight. It is Wednesday night.
Yeah, Rockstar Wednesday night means...
That is trivia. And no, we're not there this weekend.
But you are there for trivia.
But we will be there tonight. Me and Rocky and Will Haver. Come out, join us, get there a little early. We'll start a little after 8 o'clock, the original location in Crestline. You can enjoy some incredible food. Rodney Davis, the award-winning wings, delicious burgers, incredible sandwiches and salads. Stop in, ice-cold beer buckets full of Bud Light. 2 locations. The one we will be at tonight, right there in Crestline Village. And then the newest location in Edgewood, corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Get in, see Will Haber and that great staff. Join us tonight. Odie's Team Trivia.
Don't forget your bonus question tonight, Rockstar. Who was the Louisville quarterback in the Fiesta Bowl against Alabama?
Lamar Jackson.
It was Browning Nagel. I don't know if Lamar was alive. We will do trash when we come back. That is next on the next round.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
This hour of the next round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the Bayou, the amazing hand-patted burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Just an update on Mississippi State basketball coach Chris Jans. He just texted me. He put it in his calendar as next Wednesday rather than this Wednesday. He is very apologetic.
I put it in my calendar. We're playing Auburn today.
No.
We're off.
I would imagine he's a busy guy, and doing our show is pretty low on his list, but he is happy to do it, and he is going to do it with us next Wednesday. I told him just keep it in the calendar there because we still have trash to do and 4 downs to do. And I don't know if we got good celebrity birthdays. I don't want to risk it.
We've got some, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to do that.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 celebrity birthdays.
Oh, I was just counting, Rockstar. I wasn't telling you. I was counting the things we have left. Rockstar thought I was calling for a soundbite there.
Just don't rub your temples.
Yes, celebrity birthdays and trash. So I don't want to rush Coach Jans. He will join us next Wednesday. So I just wanted to update it so people didn't think he was being rude to us. He was extremely apologetic about that. So we will, something like Keith immediately, was he hanging out with Peyton Thorne? No. But I do like to update it when people, don't come on when they're supposed to, just so you know.
Boy, people like to break your balls about guests not coming on, don't they?
And Forrester was the first one to do it. He's like, man, what's up with these guest hosting us? It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, I like to explain it so people know, people aren't just being mean to us or whatever. They're just happened to not work out. DB King asking the MyBookie.ag chat room, worst power conference right now, ACC or Big 12? I think it's pretty easy, ACC. I think Big 12's better. I think ACC's better at the top. But
yeah, I think it's
top to bottom.
It's going to be. That's a great question because I think it's going to be a really interesting year. Who is at the top? So I do think Florida State can be good again. I think Miami should be really good. Clemson could be really good. We just don't know. And then on the other side, Utah could be really good.
Yeah.
I think Kansas State could be really good. And then, we'll see about the Kansas and the Oklahoma State.
If you were doing a power ranking of the two combined, I'm just going to guess you would go Miami 1 for this year, this upcoming season. Here's my guess for you. I think you would go Miami 1, Utah 2, Clemson 3, Kansas State 4.
Those are definitely my top 4, but I don't know what order.
Yeah.
Like if you told me one of those or two of those 4 are going to be in the college football playoff, I'd be like, yeah, I believe that.
2 of them will be.
If you could have said any of those 4 end up making the college football playoff, I would believe it.
Yeah. That was my guess at a power ranking for you.
That was close. I mean, you got the 4 teams right.
Yeah. All right, at this time each day we do Trash Our Rockstar. Would you please hit that big button?
And the Rockets.
Oh, no.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
It is home buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. They were veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country, and while the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can get more by going to their website, mortgageright.com/TNR. Call their Birmingham office, Highway 280, 205, at 900-7200, NOLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. Rockstar, I actually pulled this. This is June 19th. Some big dates in rock history.
Rock history?
Yep.
All right.
1967, the Jimi Hendrix Experience released the single Purple Haze.
He wrote it on a napkin, I believe. The lyrics and everything.
That's like cherry pie. Warrant wrote that on a pizza box is the story. Like the inside of a pizza box.
Cherry pie, not really deep.
You don't think cherry
lyrics.
pie and Purple Haze are in the same?
Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Yeah.
2003
You
on
heard it
this
wrong.
date, June 19th, 2003, the opening date of the Lollapalooza tour featuring Audio Sleeve and Queens of the Stone Age had to be canceled because organizers felt like Jane's Addiction stage would not fit into the venue in Michigan's Iona County Fairgrounds.
I love that Jane's Addiction.
But he's the founder.
Yeah, he is. Perry Farrell.
He's the founder, and like you can't. Okay, the guy founded the damn thing.
Yeah, no, he's got to use
I mean,
his
if I
big
had a
stage.
ticket, I'd be like, okay, we'll pass on Jane's Addiction. Can I see everybody else?
He would accept that.
I'd rather see Audio Slave anyway. In 1982, you guys will never guess who topped the charts with their self-titled debut that went to number 1.
82.
Self-titled in 82.
Cameo, word up.
Nope. I'll give you a heat. I just leaked it right there.
The heat is on?
Eddie Murphy, the heat is on.
No, I was going to give you a hint, and the hint would be Steve Carell riding his bike in the end of 40-Year-Old Virgin.
He did do cameo word up in that movie, too. I can't remember that.
It's got heat in it. Heat of the moment, Asia.
Oh, my God.
I like that song.
1982, Asia topped the charts with their self-titled debut, went to number 1.
You like that song?
I don't.
I can
You
do
don't?
I can do a
I
chorus
don't.
and then I shut down.
Yeah.
Someone's like, hey! All right, change it.
Of the moment.
1987, Guns N' Roses performed for the first time in the UK, taking the stage at a sold-out show in London's Marquee Club.
What's crazy is there was a video on Reddit of Axl and Slash and I think Duff, and it was before Appetite came out, and they were playing at this bar in LA, and everybody's talking. Like they're just playing an acoustic thing, and they're playing "Don't Cry," which was written before even "Appetite for Destruction" was recorded, and it is the exact same song. Axl sounds great, the exact same format, and you can just see that people are like have no idea that what's going to happen to this band, and they're playing a song that didn't come out till 5 years later.
Such a good song.
But he had written that before they even recorded their first album.
Well, I saw him in 87. I've seen him a few times, but I saw him, and Bob is saying at the Horse Track, that was 1991. That was May of 91, but I saw him open for Motley Crue in 87.
It's so random you brought this up, but on one of my flights the other day, I just downloaded their live album, and I don't even know where they recorded it. It's probably multiple sites.
It's multiple.
Axel, I mean, what he did it's no wonder he can't sing.
Well,
what he did in a live performance was just insane.
Also, how big their stage was he was running the whole time. For some reason, I'm gonna wear biker shorts and a sport coat, and every now and then I want to wear umpires, whatever the hell.
Yeah,
that
but
thing
close energy was Robert Plant, and Robert Plant kept that voice for a long time. Now he's had to dial it back when he's performing now, but
I'm just telling you, in a live show, the Slash was incredible.
Okay, so finally on this date, 2012, the former CFO for Pearl Jam was charged with 33 counts of theft for allegedly stealing at least $380,000 from the band over several years, spending it on lavish vacations, wine, and spa treatments. Did you know that?
I knew that I know that there's a couple of gigs, festivals they played that they didn't get a check, and they were kind of pissed off about that.
Guy was living large.
Yeah.
They managed to hold it together.
No, I'll get it for you. It's just give me some time.
Tell me how bad this sucks. At Her Majesty's Penitentiary, inmate Devin Fitzpatrick. Hey, that's somebody we know, isn't it?
Devin Fitzpatrick?
Devin Fitzsimmons.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Devin Fitzpatrick says early one morning in mid-May, he woke up, felt something moving in the crotch of his pants. When he reached in, he discovered a rat had given birth there.
Oh, wow. That's...
At least somebody's getting action.
We've got a lot of questions here.
So he got a little Shane Gillis in him? He does. Now, the incident wasn't shocking or even surprising. He said in a sit-down interview with CBC News, an ongoing rodent infestation, the St. John's Jail, parts of which date back to the Victorian era, means, quote, stuff like this happens on a regular basis, according to Fitzpatrick. He goes on to say you see them coming up in and out of your cell. They climb up on the tables. They climb up in the pipes. The wires are everywhere. Now, the Newfoundland and Labrador government announced in this year's budget it will spend $15 million over the next 2 years on temporary upgrades for the penitentiary. Now, Fitzpatrick, who's been incarcerated for over 10 months on a variety of firearms and assault charges, said he's been bitten by rats about 20 different times.
Man, that is just...
I don't know how one can give it in your... You can't get birth in your pants.
Yeah, I mean, he's embellishing. I think he's just trying to draw more attention. It's like, hey, one crawled on me last night.
Oh, man. I just can't imagine it being in there long enough to give birth.
Kind of looks like a chief with a mustache.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's a little bit in there, yeah.
The bangs, definitely.
Yeah.
Chinese customs
every day, by the way.
Officials, I love him, got more than they bargained for when an unusually busty woman was spotted among the incoming passengers, noting her nervous behavior. They intercepted and inspected her, leading to the discovery that she was attempting to smuggle 350 Nintendo Switch game cartridges into mainland China in her bra.
Well, those are kind of small, though. I'd forgotten the Switch cartridge was that small, but that is a lot. That's a lot of them right there. I'm not gonna lie.
350 pieces of gum's a lot.
That is a lot, yeah.
Now, the customs officials noticed the woman was behaving abnormally and that, quote, her look and attitude were not innocent.
Your look doesn't look innocent.
You know, and your attitude.
I see a lot of those people, don't you?
I think this person's very guilty.
Now, one, according to how they wrote the story here, eagle-eyed customs official also believed her breast looked unusual. So they pulled her from the line of incoming passengers for further inspection. That inspection revealed the woman was not as well endowed as she had hoped officials would believe. They found 350 Nintendo Switch cartridges valued at $9,600.
Only one way to see if you got cartridges there.
You know, Eagle Eye Terry over there, he notices everything about busty women.
Okay, I remember you telling the story, like, I don't like amusement park rides.
Okay.
I'm just a guy that will get motion sickness, equilibrium gets thrown off, all that kind of stuff. I just don't like them. And I think you and Anna Kate went on one where after you were up there, you were like, that was a mistake.
It was. I don't know the name of the ride, but it was at Six Flags. It's a lot like the one Rockstar is about to show you right here. You're like strapped in. It's over your shoulder. And they take you to the top and you kind of spin around and then it leans you out. And you just pause there and you drop. And I hated my hands got clammy just recounting it.
Listen to that.
We get to the bottom and Anna Kate's in tears.
Being at that spot. And this Oregon amusement park guests were left hanging upside down when a ride malfunctioned on Friday. Now, Portland Fire and Rescue announced in an X post that they were called to the scene of Oaks Park after the Atmosphere, all capital fear there, ride, malfunctioned on Friday evening.
Oh, God.
Now, the ride malfunction came on the park's first day of opening for the summer. Officials said that approximately 30 people were stuck upside down until help arrived. Park engineers, along with fire officials, worked together to, quote, manually lower the topsy-turvy ride. Nobody was seriously injured. I don't have how long this was. It had
Too long.
I think it's probably happening, but I can't tell what their position is. Are they upside down?
Yeah, they're hanging upside down is the way I read the story.
Oh, my God.
Wouldn't you just be nervous that it's going to snap and you're just going to fall out?
And that was the ride I rode that day at Six Flags functioned just like it was supposed to. But when we get to the top and they lean you out, all I could think of is if this thing pops open, I'm dead. And more importantly, if this thing pops open, my young daughter next to me is dead.
And I paid for this.
I know. What am I doing?
We're doing this on vacation.
The only reason we did it was there was like an exceptionally small crowd at Six Flags that day. School had started back in Atlanta, in the Atlanta area, and there was like a chance of rain. And we'd be at my brother's house, and we were just like, let's just go to Six Flags. There was nobody there. So you walked right onto every single ride. And there was just no line. So Anna Kate and I just jumped right on. And it was one of the biggest mistakes. I will never ride that again.
After finding someone unconscious and calling emergency services, a worried bystander might turn to YouTube for a reminder on how to perform CPR. But the site is running adverts before videos showing how to perform the life-saving intervention. The ads are up to 3 minutes long, and some are only skippable after 30 seconds. DailyMail.com found that the adverts for grocery stores and shoes delaying first aid videos made by hospitals, hospital systems, paramedics, and CPR trainers. Adverts can be personalized depending on the videos consumed by users. Woman in Germany died earlier this year after receiving her CPR was delayed by her helper having to sit through 18 seconds of adverts on the platform. DailyMail.com found at least 7 videos on YouTube about CPR and first aid blocked by adverts from the company. Emergency responders say every second counts during an emergency.
It does.
It can make the difference between life and death. For example, when the heart stops, it takes less than 5 minutes for brain cells to die because of the lack of oxygen.
Yeah,
Hey, what's up? I'm Carl. I hear you're having to resuscitate. First, hit that smash that like button, subscribe. We got some good content. We are doing new stuff.
We
daily.
encourage you to do that. Yes.
Just like that kind of thing. Oh my God, dude.
No, we love for you to watch the commercials on our content. I can understand you wanting to skip a crowd, but I would like to reinforce that it helps us a lot if you watch them on our content. Don't smash that skip ad button.
Finally, some of John Wayne's favorite foods.
Okay, why are we... Is there something about John Wayne, or is this just a random
an article
story?
that the guy loved to cook.
Yeah.
He was supposed to cook on set and stuff like that. The guy was interesting.
When he was Genghis Khan, did he have a did he have a wok? Did he cook Chinese?
He was did a wok, and he did cream of salmon guy.
Well, they say that John Wayne loved to grill out, eat good food, from beef casserole to recipes made with tequila. Grilling was one of John Wayne's favorite hobbies. Even owned a huge indoor grill, dabbled in chicken, pork, seafood. Steak was his absolute favorite. Chili what is it?
Rellenos?
Chili rellenos. Chili rellenos.
I like souffle.
Oh, souffle. Yeah. Interesting.
That's kind of quite the twist on it.
I
right?
like chili rellenos. When I was growing up, there was a Mexican restaurant in Anniston.
That is the stuffed chili, right?
It is, but there was a Mexican restaurant in Anniston that would take the chili and they would bury it under the meat and then do the cheese over it. Yeah. So it was basically just melted cheese over taco meat. Yeah. But it was so good.
Just a little pepper in it?
Yeah, just a little bit of pepper in it. But most of the time, chili rellenos is just the meat in the pepper. Well, this
chili rellenos souffle. John's third wife, Pillar, made a special souffle whenever her husband was filming on location. Packed with green chilies and cheese. Sounds good to me.
Oh, it is. I like it.
John Wayne casserole, perhaps the most popular food connected with John Wayne. This similar hearty baked dish packed with beef, finished with a biscuit-like topping.
I'll take that.
I would eat that too.
Yes, sir.
Spicy chili.
I like spicy chili.
John's favorite batch of chili included 3 shots of tequila, which further proves his love for the liquor. And finally, grilled meatballs.
Real quick, I'm sorry. Do you do sour cream on chili?
I do.
Do you really?
I love it.
My wife does that too. I don't like sour cream on chili.
Do you like sour cream?
Well,
that would be enough.
Limited. Yeah. Like I'll eat it. I'll tell you when.
So I was at Taco Mama the other night, and I just went with their original beef tacos.
Okay.
But it comes with sour cream on them. But I added a little corn.
Yeah.
I added some refried beans.
That's the only time I really eat sour creams, like on a Taco Supreme or a Burrito Supreme.
I think sour cream with chili, sour cream with potatoes, and sour cream with Mexican food is the best.
But every time we go to a Mexican restaurant, my wife gets a side of sour cream. She loves it that much on Mexican.
Will you eat it on baked potatoes?
I can't tell you the last time I've had a baked potato, but no. Normally baked potato, I just go butter and salt and pepper.
I guarantee a Rockstar doesn't like sour cream, do you?
Oh, I like sour. There is something like when they put too much on it and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Like when there's too much, that's like,
or when it's super runny or whatever.
Like, give me a little bit, not a whole tablespoon dollop.
Just thinking out loud, I've never done this, but I think French fries, good crispy French fries in sour cream would be great.
I would try that.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing like a baked potato with the salt on the skin of the baked potato. I ate the entire thing.
Like
put cheese and sour cream on it. Yeah.
I prefer, the reason I don't do many baked potatoes is when I grill, we normally do sweet potatoes. Now,
I like sweet potatoes too.
I like
brown sugar and
the butter and the brown sugar. Yeah, that's really good.
Hey, and finally, John Wayne, one of his favorite foods was grilled meatballs. John used his mother's meatball recipe, making them extra special by cooking them on the grill.
Ooh, that looks good.
It really does.
I like that. Hey, Rod says John Wayne died completely impacted. Now, I know Elvis did. Did John Wayne also do this?
I've heard that rumor. I'm not going to let you stand me up, Elvis.
Yeah. No. I mean, Elvis. Oh, so that's what John Wayne said, really?
No.
Oh. I was going to say, what a weird thing to say before you die.
Tough way to die, man.
Yeah, I mean, Elvis.
Stomach cancer.
Stomach cancer got him? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because in the Shootist, he had cancer.
Did he?
I think that's the only film he won Best Actor.
That is Trash, which every day is brought to you by Mortgage Right.
Yeah, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process easy. Whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, whether you're looking for your final home or your first home, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Call them today, 205-900-7200 or mortgageright.com/TNR.
We still have got 4 downs to go. I don't know why I said third down. We still have got 4 downs to go. I was reading from The Athletic, Daniel Brown, who covers things for The Athletic, covers the Giants for The Athletic, was telling some Willie Mays stories, and I pulled this one up on social media. He was standing outside the Giants clubhouse just before the 0-2 World Series game there in Anaheim, and the security guards didn't recognize him, and he didn't have a photo on his badge, so security guards wouldn't let him in the clubhouse. So he was laughing about it, and John Miller was there too. And John Miller had a World Series program, and there was a photo of Willie Mays making the catch of the 54 World Series, and John Miller walked over to the security guard and said, "Can he use this photo?" What a good line, huh?
Is that when the security guard was like,
yeah,
okay.
I'm sure the security guard's, yeah, I guess so. I don't know if he ever got in, but I thought that was so good is that John Miller walked over and said, "How about, can he use this photo?"
That's really good.
Show the photo of the catch. The great Willie Mays passing away yesterday. We have talked a lot about him in the show today. If you want to see our thoughts of it in the first hour, go back and watch that on demand. We talked a lot about it. We got 4 downs coming up. Inverness Country Club bringing you part of the show. Great place for young families.
Yeah, I talked to our friend Erin this week, and she said that things are growing great out there. If you're looking for something different, you've got young kids, you guys like to golf, you like to play tennis, you like to work out, you like to hang out by the pool. Inverness Country Club, they've got memberships that fit absolutely everyone, from the social membership to the golf membership. Beautiful course, currently expanding the driving range. Child care is such a major plus. Whether you work from home and you want to go up to the club and work and let them keep the kid, you just want to have a nice dinner with the wife, you can do it at Inverness Country Club. Best days happen in Inverness. Take a tour of this unbelievable club today. Call Aaron, 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608. Or go online, ICCalabama.com. That's ICCalabama.com. Make sure you tell Aaron and everybody at Inverness the next round sent you.
Follow Jon Lunceford on Twitter at jlunce.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Our friends at Long Use Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Long Use offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Long Use offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Long Use sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Long Use has to offer you.
We continue on the next round.
Basketball money might be the biggest.
What do you mean?
Pascal Siakam is a really good player.
Yeah.
But he is staying with Indiana.
Okay.
And he just got a 4-year deal worth $190 million. So Pascal Siakam is almost making $50 a year.
4 years, $190 million. Yeah. I mean, that is insane. You're right. I don't know if you had a kid, you could pick a spot. Left-handed pitcher.
If he was a lefty, probably situational guy, making a couple million a year, not a ton of pressure.
NBA player. I mean, it would not be NFL.
If I could have an elite kid at playing something, I think it would definitely be basketball.
I mean, any more golf has got to be in the discussion with the kind of money that's getting thrown around out there.
And you don't even have to win.
I know. I mean, especially with the live money, if you could have cashed in on that. I mean, I really don't know anymore as a father what I would want.
Well, my thing with some of these massive contracts in the NBA, I mean, you're going to have guys that are making $60, $70 million, and I just don't know with the television contracts. I know it's up. I just don't know how they continue to generate these because the ratings aren't there.
Yeah, they are not, but there's still people that think that they are going to cash in big time on these on this next media rights deal, that the number is actually going to be bigger than the previous number with ratings dropping.
You know, if Barkley does in fact retire after this season, I think it's going to hurt the ratings even more.
Well, I do, but they're probably, they're going to leave TNT at some point anyway. I would, so he's probably not going to be there either way. Champy's Chicken brings you this hour of the show. Champy'sChicken.com. Sterling and the gang there at Champy's. Doors wide open for lunch for you right now at Champy's Chicken. Go enjoy those great chicken fingers, the great sides, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, just the way they're supposed to be made. Great po' boys, great drinks, all right there at Champy's Chicken. Highway 119 in Alabaster, Champy'sChicken.com. That is Champy'sChicken.com. We've covered a lot of ground in the show today. If you were wanting Coach Chris Jan's Mississippi State coach, got our wires crossed there. He had the wrong date in his calendar for next Wednesday, so we told him just keep that date. He'll be back on with us next Wednesday. Though we were not able to do that today, we look forward to having him with us next Wednesday. Right now, it is time for 4 Downs. We do this every single day. It is presented by Slice, 5 great Birmingham locations of Slice.
Yeah, the original in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, the newest location right there in Edgewood, the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Created by the late Jeff Bajaya. His brothers continue to celebrate his legacy. Get in, see Jason, Chris. Local pizza, local ingredients. Tell them the next round sent you. You're going to absolutely love it. Get a slice and a salad today. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Paula Abdul, 62 today.
Paula Abdul.
Paula Dean, better career.
Paula Dean had a little misstep.
Well, she did.
fantastic cook with loves butter. I would love to eat her food. Paula Abdul, Laker girl.
And she slept with one of the finalists for American Idol. You remember? Yeah.
Did she?
Yeah, because we had the kid on the show. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I know they had a little relationship. So she had American Idol, Laker girl, and a pretty much successful singing career. So I would take Paula Abdul.
It wasn't Little Sweet, was it?
No, it wasn't Little Sweet. It was.
I can promise you it wasn't Clay Aiken.
I forgot who the guy was, but she talked him into doing a Steve Perry, one of his solo songs or a Journey song that got into the next round.
Sherry?
Because Randy Jackson was playing on that Journey album.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go, I think, Paula Abdul. I mean, she's the most visible one, right?
I think you'd recognize. Well, Paula Dean looks like a Southern grandmother.
Yeah,
she does.
Paula's
She's
got the
everybody's grandma.
silver hair. She's always got an apron on. She's always in the kitchen, always writing a book.
People swear by her restaurant. There's several. I think there's one in Savannah, and then there may be one like in Biloxi or something like that. People swear it's amazing.
Oh, Nancy made something of her cinnamon rolls. Like it takes forever.
Nothing but butter.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I would say that she makes a good pancake.
Okay.
But I'm going to go Paula Abdul, too.
Second down.
C.J. Mosley, 32 years old today.
Excellent linebacker.
David Pollock, 40 years old today. Better career.
No, I think C.J. Mosley, Pollock had probably the better college career.
Yeah, he did have the better college career. It was close. I mean, C.J. was first-team All-American.
But that neck injury, just it limited his career with the Bengals so much. And C.J. Mosley's had a really good NFL career.
Yeah, and still having one right now with the Jets. Pollock, though, had a minute. I know a lot of people didn't love him. When he was on our show, he was always too busy.
Yeah.
You remember he was shuffling around with the phone.
Everything but doing the interview.
And then he'd come back. Yeah, and you get his cheering pack in his car.
Yeah, at least we weren't paying him for it. Oh, wait a minute, we were.
Yeah. But, for him to be on game day for as long as he's had, obviously, a really, really good career. But I agree with you. I would go C.J. Mosley just based on home field.
Yeah, I think so.
Third down.
Dirk Nowitzki, 46. Ultimately, better career, Luka or Dirk?
So I was in Dallas a couple weeks ago, and they were doing stories. They were doing the old, this is the biggest Mavericks fan as they try to win their second NBA championship. They had a guy, this is crazy. His wall was the midcourt logo of the old Mavericks floor. And they were like, how did you get it? And now imagine how big a midcourt logo is, right? He had the entire...
it's bigger than and you can't see this right now, but the next round logo that we've got in studio.
And you couldn't do it in here because these are 10-foot ceilings. These were high ceilings. This is a big house, right? This guy's got some money. And he was like, the Mavericks got a new floor. I went to Mark Cuban at a game one night and just asked him if I could, could I buy the old floor from you? And Mark Cuban's like, you can have the old floor. We don't know what to do with it. So Mark Cuban gives him...
How many people are kicking themselves for not asking?
So Mark Cuban gives him the old floor, and he takes the midcourt logo, and it's a wall like in his sports room. And they were calling this guy the biggest Mavericks fan of all time.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, all right. So Scott is showing you the logo. It's bigger than that. And hello to our guests. And EG.
Promised them they wouldn't be on camera.
You guys are EG in studio with us. Hello, EG. Wait a minute.
That was my bad. I brought it up.
Well, if you close your eyes and say, quickly name a Dallas Maverick, you're going to say Luka or I'm going to say Dirk.
It's great.
Dirk.
Daniel and I believe
Jason
he's saying this. He's saying Luka's already got more All-NBA first teams. And All-NBA first team, that is the ultimate, outside of winning an MVP, which ultimately you win an MVP if you're a first teamer, that's a pretty amazing thing if that is true with Luka only being 25. But you remember when Clay came on our show and he's like, Dirk is the greatest white player of all time?
I do remember that, yeah.
And all the Larry Bird fans were getting so upset with him. Yeah. And I still don't think Dirk was better
Jason
than Larry.
Williams, white chocolate.
The reason I brought that up, though, about the midcourt logo thing is the amount of signed Dirk gear that guy had. He was such a Mavericks fan, they gave him a mock championship ring, and Dirk delivered it to his office. They had video of it. And my wife is like, who is this Dirk guy? And I'm like, well, he's probably the greatest. He's the greatest Mav of all time, Dirk Nowitzki. And she said, well, I can tell he's a basketball player because he's so tall.
Looks Fourth down. Our man Jessup Standiford. Doesn't he?
He does a little bit.
Lou Gehrig would have been 121 today.
I bet he wouldn't be alive.
No, probably not. Lou Gehrig or Barry Sanders?
Better career?
Yeah.
I'd go Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig's was so abbreviated, though. And I
know Barry Sanders.
I know. But I think generations are going to talk more about Lou Gehrig. He was a Yankee. Yeah. Barry was Lou Gehrig did win a championship.
He did. Barry did not. Barry never gave a speech that everybody quotes to this day.
Barry seems very shy. I think he is. I don't think he likes the interview process.
That's why I thought it was so cool when Terrion Arnold was on with us, and he was like, one of the first calls I got was from Barry Sanders. I'm like, I didn't know Barry was that type.
Is he still driving that same truck that he was driving when he was, playing? Didn't want to spend any money.
I'll let no celebration. Just hand the ball to the ref.
Yeah.
I wonder who the better player was.
The athlete was Barry Sanders.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I'm just talking about for their sport in their particular time, because Gehrig's numbers were obviously awesome. I mean, he's more known now for the illness.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's one reason his name lives.
Which is so weird that I saw a movie based on ALS last night. It's got a zombie.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's realistic.
Yeah, but not really.
That is 4 Downs presented by Slice.
5 great locations. Slice. Get in for lunch or dinner. From the hot mama to the soul pie, the wing and a prayer. You're going to absolutely love it. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
Lou Gehrig. I mean, what is he? Babe Ruth's the best Yankee of all time. I think a lot of people would say Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle will be 2. Derek Jeter probably 3.
And then Gehrig is probably,
I guess,
getting him pretty quick after that, at least.
Mariano Rivera, those got to be up there. Yogi Berra's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Joe DiMaggio's got to be up there. I mean,
Dave Justice.
It sounds like people born in Alabama, doesn't it?
It really does. You start doing Yankees players, and you're going to be there for a minute. They've had a few. I mean, Don Mattingly played in the worst era of Yankee baseball.
It was incredible.
But he was a heck of a player.
Yeah.
He just happened to play on the one era of crap teams they've had.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know where you put A-Rod. I mean, A-Rod, a third of his career was there.
Krusty asked, was that movie on Brown Sugar TV, or did you end up canceling that?
I can't figure out how to cancel it.
Yeah, that's how they hook you.
I mean, the good news is only $3.99 a month, but I can't figure out how to cancel it. Tried last night.
Yep. No hope.
And it wasn't me trying, so it's not like, technically challenged Lance trying to cancel Brown Sugar TV. I guess I'm going to have to start putting it in rotation.
Hey, a reminder, if it doesn't run right, flush right or flow right, Hemp Hill Services is where you need to go. They brought you part of the show. Hemp Hill Services. You can get them out to your house. If that AC goes out, this needs to be your first call, or just make sure it's ready for July and August. 229-2090, commercial or residential, 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com. We appreciate you joining us on the show today. We've had a good time and some great memories paying tribute to the great Willie Mays. We will be at the game tomorrow night. We'll talk about it tomorrow with Buster and much more. Have a great afternoon. See you tomorrow at 9 o'clock on The Next Round.